Not the one. Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all again.
Go further away. Nice and loud.
I want to thank everybody for coming. We do appreciate it. And I think when you finish hearing the session, you're going to thank us. You're going to be educated, given a lot of information. So I'm just going to be brief. I am Dolores Micro. I'm with the Healthcare Association of America, and I'm also an affiliate with Engage Local. And been working with Mr. Jones for about 25, 30 years. Looking forward to you all hearing from him and from Ms. Nigel and from Ms. Right now, what I want to do is introduce Mr. Jonathan Jones. He is the Director of Healthcare Association of America. Founder.
Well, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Is that picking it up?
Can sound like it.
Now, Dolores didn't even bother to tell her story. And she's Dolores. Come here once. She didn't tell her story because she has a why to the reason why she's even involved with the Healthcare Support Association of America.
You mean my Micro Daily story?
Yes. You can give the short version of it.
Well, I started taking Micro Daily about 8 years ago. I've always taken natural products. Like I said, I worked with Diamond for quite a while.
Keep it nice and close.
And he introduced me to Micro Daily. I wasn't interested in anything else. But he plugged me in anyway. So I went ahead and I started taking it. I saw the benefit. And then when COVID came along, I really saw the benefit. I went to the hospital one day. I walked out with COVID. I went to visit someone that had COVID, didn't know it. But at that time in Albany, they were saying it was an upper respiratory. It was COVID. Took it home to my husband. So we both had COVID. We were both mature people, not getting any younger. So, but what happened, we didn't have to go to the doctor. We didn't have any medicine. We took Microdip. We took a whole lot of Microdip. And I didn't know what was wrong until one morning I woke up. I couldn't taste and I couldn't sleep. So I knew I had COVID. So like I said, we stayed home and just rest because that's basically all we could do. Drink a lot of Microdip. A couple of weeks, we were up, doing fine, never went to the doctor. So I thank Microdip for helping us to get COVID. I thank Jonathan Jones for insisting I take Microdip.
Now that's telling the story, and that's her why. And I'm always excited to work with Dolores because she has affected a lot of people, and this literally is a tiny, minuscule fraction of the lives she's affected here in Albany. Now, apparently, the rest of the lives that have been affected in Albany weren't able to make it right now. So, and I don't have any idea as to why or what's going on, except that I heard that there's a football game.
Yes.
So, so there's some football game in Alabama or something. But the crowd that's here is good, and you guys are relevant and important. So don't take this as me saying, "Oh," because I'm excited that you're here. And I guarantee you that each one of you, especially if you're hearing this for the first time, your life will change if you pay attention. Some of the folks in the lobby in the hotel, we were telling them some of the reasons why they should attend. But I tell you what I'm going to do is I really want you guys to hear what I think is one of the best introductions to this product, to this amazing journey that we're on right now. So I'm going to just share something with you, and then you can decide for yourself whether it's relevant, whether it's worth listening to for yourself. And I have it sitting right in front of me, and I, of course, let it disappear. So this little commercial basically just gives you a little introduction to the entire wellness journey that we're taking. And by the way, for those of you who have been here before, understand something. That's the Eastman Financial Network that's sponsoring this event, and they're quite significant. And that's something that we've been missing for a long time. Something that we've needed for a long time with someone that's relevant, someone that's robust, that can help these events go to the next level. And that's where we are right now. So I want you guys to acknowledge Mr. Clint Eastman, who's over here in the corner right there. So if you're wondering what these TVs are sitting here, that's what you just clapped for. If you're wondering about all the other stuff that's happening here, that's just, know that that's why it happened. And so that keeps us excited and makes us know why this is all where it is. Okay, so now, give me 1 second here.
In 2001, the U.S. Department of Defense asked the world's foremost expert on micronutrition and supplementation to develop a supplement that could provide a singular daily source of nutritional defense and nourishment for our U.S. troops, not just to protect them, but to sustain them as well. This was no small task, as our troops are exposed to some of the most extreme and harsh environments on the planet, and therefore they must meet the very highest standards of health and wellness to protect our country. After 6 years of testing, over $24 million invested, of which $12.5 million came from the U.S. Congress, 9 months of safety testing with the U.S. Military Internal Review Board, and 14 total clinical studies, including 7 human trials, a total of 7 patents were issued, 4 functional patents and 3 formulation patents, making it the most scientifically validated micronutrient supplement in the world. And the benefits are absolutely staggering. One of the patents states micronutrient formulations for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. I would like to introduce you to this incredible company who has made this life-changing product line, once only available to the U.S. military, available to the general public. Testimonials are coming in left and right, and I am so excited to share this powerful information with you. Click the request more info button below, and we will instantly take you inside and give you all the incredible details on this life-changing product. Do this right now, and we'll see you on the next page.
And the idea there was just to give you a brief introduction as to the history behind product that Dolores took. It's called Micro Daily. We'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. The overview of this entire event is we're going to be hearing a little bit about how credit repair takes place. You'll learn a little bit later on about how finances are involved, because if we don't have the resources, and I can't tell you how many times I've run across people that simply don't have the resources to stay alive. And how many of you remember Clinty McLean? Just show of hands. Anybody remember Clinty? No, you guys raise your hand so everybody else can know that you know Clinty McLean. And Clinty had Scleroderma. And you all remember that Dr. Nkuzi came here. We had a room full of people, 50 or 60 people. Dr. Judith Hack was in the room. And Dr. Nkuzi said stuff that went over most of our heads. And do you guys remember that event? I know I see faces. I know many of you were there. In that room, was at the police station, I think it was. Was it the police station or it was?
Yeah, it was the police station out on Dalton Road.
A different police station. Yeah. And at the end of his presentation, Clement McLean stood up and told her story. We have it recorded. Scleroderma is a condition that turns you into a ball of collagen. Every cell in the body starts making excessive amounts of collagen. So the way that it's treated is that you have a doctor for your heart, a doctor for your lungs, a doctor for every organ in your body has a doctor, and they all focus on that. But Clinty started taking a product that Dr. Nkuzi was telling us about. And you remember that, right, Dolores? She was taking, and another product, DNA 136. But the problem with it was it costs about $150 per kit. She was taking 8 kits. Do the math. Here in Albany, how sustainable is that? Now, she got to the point where she got her life back. She regained use of her hands. She regained use of her body. She could drive again. She could do everything that a normal person could do until, what was that? What ran out?
The DNA want the money.
The money ran out
The money.
because it was an unsustainable treatment for her. So does anybody think that that's right? That the only reason why you can live is because you have the money to buy what's keeping you alive? When there are people who, right now the news is saying that the first trillionaire is queued up. Are you kidding me? Do you know that if you had $1 billion and you started spending that $1 billion back when Jesus was on the earth at the rate of $1,000 a day? What's that? That's quite a bit of money. It was $1 billion back when Jesus was on the earth. How many, by the way, how many think you could spend $1,000 a day? Seriously.
No.
Anybody? Or you would try, you said that? No, I mean, seriously, every single day. Mr. Eastman, is it possible literally to spend $1,000 every day? He's got that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She has challenged the limits.
Possible, but are you gonna pay them other people?
Well, it's possible. It's possible. Let's bring it down to where mortals are. Is it possible for the normal person in their everyday of life literally to spend $1,000 every single day without fail?
No.
Probably not. But let's say you could. If you started back when Jesus was on the earth, you know how much money you'd have left today? Close to $300 million left.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's how much $1 billion is. And the world's first trillionaire is queued up now. Trillionaire is queued up. What could you do with $1 trillion? My point is that what's wrong with the system where one person has that much money and one person who has nothing has to die when there's no equity whatsoever? And that's the reason, again, why our teaming up with the Eastman Financial Network is so important. That's the reason why the rest of this presentation is so important. My job is to tell you that there is a solution as far as health is concerned. That's my role. To tell you, to convince you that there is a solution, and it's an affordable solution. So I'm not talking about a Clinton McLean-like solution, because $150 times 8 is a considerable amount of money, and the average person, doesn't have that kind of money. So that's the reason why it's not sustainable. But what we just saw in that little commercial right there, for a lot of people, that is doable. Because guess what? It's only about $60, maybe $120. At the most, it's around $300, per month. If you take the whole poo-poo flat, the entire enchilada, that's what it would be. Not some outrageous amount of money that most people can't afford. So what I'm going to do right now is basically take a couple minutes, tell you a little bit about how how Micro Daily works. I'm going to skip through a lot of the normal stuff because there are some of you here right now that the thing that you need to hear more than anything, the thing that you need to hear is how you can play a role in helping people. Because there are people here in Albany that I go walk around till I'm blue in the face and they won't listen to me. You know, I know that because I call some and I talk to a few here and there. They just don't listen to me because they can tell right away I'm not from around here. And I don't take that personal. But many of them, you know, you're close friends with them. You got a better chance of talking to them than I do. You can reach them. That's the reason why Dolores has been so effective, because everyone in this room respects Dolores. Many of them, like the what team is playing today? Iris.
FAMU
Right?
against Albany State.
And you said FAMU. That's like
Yeah.
Florida, Atlanta, Florida A&M.
It's gonna be in Tallahassee.
And y'all think that's worth going to see because it's just gonna be a book. That's gonna be a book. Well, you know,
Much respect.
Don't stop.
We ain't gonna say who gonna win. I mean, to say that.
that's what I'm talking about. You know, just going all the way down there just to get beat. But you know, I'm from Florida, so that's what I'm just joshing out, okay? But even those ones who like Albany State better than this. Okay, we respect them too. But for those of you who are here, you can do some outreach. You can reach people. You can touch their lives, and you can make a difference. And the sweetest part about it is you don't have to apologize. You never have to apologize for what you told. Dolores, could you just tell me real quick? Have you apologized to anyone that you introduced any of these products to yet?
No.
Not even one person? No one has ever complained to you that you.
They complain.
I don't apologize, but I know what I have. Yeah, it's something that they can benefit from.
There we go. The disclaimer that we by law have to convey is that the FDA is not evaluating the statements that are being made. You're going to be hearing testimonies that are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. That's all it means. That's all it means. We're not giving medical advice. What's being said here is information for and educational purposes only. We strongly recommend that you seek competent medical advice from professionals that you trust. Okay? Now, having said that, I need you guys to understand something else. That because of the 14th Amendment in the United States, you all are right now de facto members of the Healthcare Support Association of America. That's why you're at this meeting. You're members, at least for this moment, because we invited you to this meeting. And guess what the 14th Amendment allows for? Freedom of private association. And if we are free to associate privately, guess what? We can exchange thoughts privately. So in this room, this meeting, we can say whatever we want. We can talk openly. And that's the reason why I can tell you, Dolores can tell her story anytime. You know, Iris will be able to tell her story anytime. Anyone can. In fact, we're going to have Iris tell her story here in just a minute. Many of you have heard Iris' story. But I think it merits talking about it again, because when you look at the screen like the one we're looking at right now, with the number of cancer cases that are expected to be diagnosed in the United States this year, and it's well on track, by the way. It's probably a lot higher than the 2 million that's being projected right now, probably a lot higher, but that's real. And that means that this year, 618,000 people are going to die from that cancer. 618,000 people will die from cancer. That's 1,700 people a day. So in 2 days' time, if we count back from this moment right now, back 2 days ago, what just happened is 9/11. This moment we're talking about right now, 9/11 happened. It's not on the news. No one's hearing about it. You remember where you were on 9/11, right? I mean, seriously, do you remember where you were on 9/11?
That's my birthday.
Oh my goodness. So everybody remembers where they were. Will you even remember this moment tomorrow? Most people won't. We've got numb to the fact that many people are dying every single day. And it's kind of sad. The saddest part about it is when it comes to women, the number one form of cancer is breast cancer, followed by lung and colorectal cancer. That's what's happening today. But it doesn't have to be that way. So Iris, would you please step up here and just share your story? This is Iris, please. Welcome her to the front. Let her feel excited to get them to tell her story.
Hello, everyone. Repeat after me, please. It's good to be alive,
Good to be alive.
but it's best to live. All right, now keep that in mind. We could be alive, but we need to live. Micro Daily is what helped me live the life that I'm living now. Okay, my name is Iris Hawthorne. I'm not going to take up much time because I love to talk. My name is Iris Hawthorne. I am a 7-year cancer survivor. A little bit about my history. I'm very healthy. I work out, eat right. I do everything, and I did everything that would not allow cancer to come into my body. Okay, I went to the doctor. I was getting mammograms every year, just like, we should be getting. Okay, and this particular time, when he told me that I had cancer, actually, I couldn't believe it because I'm just that healthy, right? So if I can get cancer, anybody can. Okay, so I talked with Miss Levette about it. She said, Iris, take micro dailies before you have your surgery, because I was misdiagnosed, first of all. And I always tell women and men, you can't get breast cancer. Please, if you have any kind of feelings that something is not right, go get a second opinion. They told me that I was not even a stage. But when I went and got my second opinion, I was stage 2. Okay, Miss Levette say, Iris, before you have your surgery, get the microdailies in your system. And I tell you, I ate them every day. I swallowed just like it was just, no return. Okay, so when I had my surgery, I promise you guys, I did not hurt one day. I did not hurt one day. I went back to work in 3 weeks because I kept the microdailies in me. Okay, and then my skin died because I'm what they call thin skin. Okay, so I had to go back into surgery. And then I went back to work in 3 weeks again. Healthy, normal. And I tell you, I've been eating them every since. I go out in the hedges and highways and I tell people about microdailies. Some will listen and some will not listen. Okay, but then I'm still helping a lot of people. Cancer survivors, I'm helping a lot of them with that's dealing with stage 4. Can I tell about the one testimony, please, that I was talking about earlier? I help people with that's going through cancer. This one particular lady, and this is a powerful testimony. This one particular lady, stage 4 stomach cancer. It was going up to her lungs. Okay, they brought her to my beauty salon. She had death all in her eyes. Her eyes was red and she had swelled up so bad with all this fluid. So when I asked her this question, I said, do you want to live? And she said, Miss Iris, I want to live because I have 2 kids. I said, okay. So I had a lot of microdailies at the house. I gave them my microdailies. And I know she was financially able to take care of her stuff. So she did give them back to me. I talked with Miss Levette, and Miss Levette told me everything that we needed to do. So the young lady, she started taking the microdailies. I mean, taking them. I'm telling you, the woman started back working. She owned a club here in Albany. She does taxes. I mean, she's doing everything, raising her kids. One play football. She's out there just a run. So everybody thought she was here. But I kept telling her, gotta keep it in, keep the microdailies in. Okay, so somebody got into her ears. We gotta be careful because everybody think their product is better than the others. Stop letting people get into your ears. So I did not know that she had stopped taking them because someone told her there was a product out there that was better and that would heal her real quick, right? I said, but I didn't know. She totally stopped taking those micro dailies. Then we got a phone call from Emory. She was in the hospital. So she called me and she said, Miss Iris, I know micro dailies work. She said, I'm so sorry. Please, what can I do? And we was telling her, okay, let's put it under your tongue. Put it in jello. Put it any kind of place that you think that, it would work. It was too late. She died. And with me, I use everything. I don't care whether it turned out good or bad. I use everything as a testimony. The testimony is, if you know something that's good, and if you know something that's working for you, why in the world will you let somebody in your ear? Right? See, microdata to me has no side effects. I'm having to learn that all this medication the doctor give us, you better read up on it. I was taking tamoxifen. Those was the pills that was after cancer. One day I read up on them that they said that pill would stop me from getting cancer again. Ain't nobody do that but Jehovah Lord God that could stop me from getting cancer. So I read up on it. One of the side effects was cancer. Okay, the other side effect was liver disease, depression, headaches, all these different things that pill was supposed to be helping me with. So I got off of it. And then that taught me a valuable lesson. It taught me how to read everything that was going on. What I'm putting in my body, I need to know. Micro Daily has no side effects, but all that other stuff have side effects. So we got to be careful what we put in our body, because I promise you, if you start on Micro Daily, your energy level, oh my God, your energy level will get better. And I mean, all the problems that I thought I had, I didn't have it because I live on Micro Daily right now. I'm a 7-year cancer survivor, but guess what? I'm taking them just like I still have it. I take them every day. And if anybody like me, y'all better start taking it. Because if anything happened to you, sometimes it might not be no return, but things gonna happen to all of us. It's gonna happen to us now. But how we deal with this situation, it's gonna matter. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Iris. That's a story, and that's real. You can't get more real than that. She's surviving and she's living her life. She's determined that she's going to live, and it's a beautiful thing. Please.
To tell you what you did. You stop taking my
Oh, we'll come back, Iris. You tell us about that. Yeah, we don't want to hear that. No, I won't come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you in a minute. I'm gonna come back to you in just a minute. We want to hear that. See, I got a slide with your name on it. That was just the appetizer. When it comes to men, we have problems too. The number one form of cancer in men, the number one form of cancer, prostate cancer, number one. So women, it's breast cancer, men, it's prostate cancer. So that's it's unfortunate, but it's real. This lung followed by lung and bronchial, the same as with women. But I'm not going to spend time on the statistics. It's still the number 2 form of death, right behind heart disease, and getting worse. It's all the way up there. This one right here, I think you need to pay attention to. Actually, you know what? Let me go back to this one for 1 second, just 1 second. Now, this one slide here talks about preventable causes of cancer, right? The leading causes of cancer. And these are the preventable ones. Can anybody just shout out what number 2 is?
Obesity.
And what is a big problem, no pun intended, right here in Albany?
Overweight,
And so what would that lead to?
obesity. and
It's the
cancer.
second leading cause, right behind smoking. Right behind smoking. Does anything else on that list stand out? Something that you might be carrying?
Inactivity.
What's that?
Physical inactivity
Oh, yeah, okay, all right, that one too.
or diet.
That-
I think, I believe
Alcohol.
all of them work together.
Yeah.
All of them work together here in Albany. Now, look at that. All of them work together here in Albany.
Planet Earth.
Yeah.
Just about everywhere. But you notice that UV radiation on there? Right? How many of us walking around with a radiation generator?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, another one form of cancer in children used to be leukemia.
It's not.
It's glioblastoma, brain cancer. Why are children suddenly getting brain cancer at an alarming rate? Could it be the babysitter? Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's just something worth thinking about, because the World Health Organization says that cell phones may cause cancer.
Right.
And you know, that's the same thing they say about smoking, that they may cause cancer. So it's in the same category. Yeah. But nobody will give up their cell phone. When's the last time you forgot your cell phone? Anybody remember the last time you forgot it?
Had a panic attack.
Okay. She thought I was really. It's my phone. Look here, I could be here in Albany and I would have got in my car and went back home to get my phone. I would have gone back home to get my phone. If I got all the way here, I'd go get it. So it's either that or I'm going to Best Buy and getting another one, like right now. Mine died one time on Black Friday. You know when the worst time to go buy a phone is on Black Friday, unless you gonna get up early in the morning or stand in line on? I was in that line. Because that day, I think they programmed it to do that. That's the first time I had an iPhone. They programmed it to die. I got no rise out of nausea on that one. It wasn't an iPhone. You know I would touch an iPhone with your hand. So improving the outcome. These are all the different ways that the cancer is treated: surgery, chemotherapy, immunotherapy, and all kinds of other things. And I'm right in your way on it. I'm so sorry. I don't have a remote clicker. That's another one of those things that Mr. Eastman helped me financially. I'll be able to get that. So staying over here. So I'm just dropping hints all over the room right now. So the side effects of the treatments is pretty bad. Just flipping through it real quick. Okay, so, and it was interesting to hear Ms. Iris say that as far as those side effects are concerned, she just wasn't having any of those side effects because she followed Ms. Levant's recommendation on that. This is the gentleman. It's because of this man right here we have this product, Micro Daily. The commercial that I played earlier really told the whole story. So all of that was, I'm not going to have to tell you a lot about Dr. Prasad again. I won't say that. But the man has forgotten more than most of us know. He's brilliant. The world's first radiation biology PhD. He used to be the professor at the University of Colorado School of Medicine for some 30 years. So he's got a very storied background. He's been published almost 300 times. And all over PubMed, you can find people who make reference to Dr. Prasad's work. So we have a world-renowned scientist that's behind all of this. His newest research, we are collaborating with some significant people with getting being able to take advantage of his new research. The information is already available to us, but we wanted to get that into the hands of more people also. So that'll be part of the Healthcare Support Association's armamentarium. But I told you we'll get back to Ms. Iris here in a minute. And I told you before, just remember, when you hear testimonies, they're purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. So we always have to make sure that everybody understands that. But Iris's story was an interesting one that you just heard. You just heard it, but she didn't give all the details, did she? Right. So she had surgery, 8 rounds of chemo, 33 rounds of radiation treatment. So Iris, come on up here again and tell us the rest of it that you didn't want to tell. that Dolores stood up and said.
Oh, glory.
Y'all gotta remember, on September 11th, I turned 66. Okay, so if anything wrong, it was because of that.
Okay, what Miss Levette is talking about is, y'all remember me telling you about the tamoxifen, right? And about the side effects. And one of the side effects is achy bones and muscles. And it makes you make it feel so bad. Okay, Micro Daily had me feeling so good. I mean, I was just doing everything I needed to do. So I decided to stop taking them.
Doing so good, but you decided to stop.
They call it chemo brain.
Now you gotta remember now, come on now. Y'all have when doctors give you medication and the medication stop working real good, a lot of times, guess what we gonna do?
I'm all better.
We gonna stop taking it, right? So don't blame me. Micro Daily had me feeling so good that I actually forgot about the Micro Daily, okay? And that's real life. Okay, so I come home from work at night. I'm like, okay, something ain't right. Get up in the morning a little slower than usual. Okay, not thinking about Micro Dailies. Then get back home, same thing as my energy levels gone down. Like everything is just messed up. I tried to get out of the bed. I was hurting so bad. I mean, because I was constantly taking the tamoxifen, but I'm telling y'all, I was aching all over. And it hit me. It's that Micro Daily. Man, I started taking Micro Daily like it was crack, y'all. No, you know how people that's on drugs, and not being funny, but how people are on drugs, they gotta have it. And I had to have it. And I could, let's say, if it was any such thing as ODing off of Micro Dailies, I would have been ODing. Okay. And I promise you guys, I felt so much better the next day. And I promised me and the Lord that I would not get off of this because they've given me a form of life. And I apologize to Miss Little bit, and I apologize for myself, but I ain't gonna do it no more. Okay.
Don't blame me and don't shame me. I stopped taking it because I was feeling so good. But that's the way it works. That's the way it works. And we make no apologies for the fact that it makes you feel better. But we do not recommend stopping. We would never recommend that. Just real quick, a couple more stories before I wrap up this portion of our reading. This gentleman right here, as you can see, he has a hole in his face. That's basal cell carcinoma that has been untreated for quite a while. Untreated basal cell carcinoma. And yeah, we don't need untreated basal cell carcinoma. Look at the date. August 2023. And this is not AI generated. So this is real. That's not made up. This actually happened. And this is in, I think, North Carolina was where Rick lived. And in fact, the last time we were giving this presentation, I believe it was in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the woman who actually knew this man, and it was her client's man, she was in the room. And she confirmed the entire thing. November 2023, that's what he looked like. Now, he had taken 30-some pounds of radiation, so he was treated with radiation. But he, on this day, started taking Micro Daily the day before he began the radiation. The doctors warned him he was going to lose his eyesight, expected, his hair and all that stuff to be gone. But he lost nothing. He lost nothing. He came through it fine, and you can't even tell that the problem was there. This is one more case right here. Why did that not move? This woman right here has melanoma. Not sure if you can see that real well, but that's the official diagnosis is melanoma. And I'm not sure if I can make that work, but this is what it looked like. The doctors had prepared to amputate her foot. They were going to take it off at the ankle because melanoma, according to Dr. Prasad, is one of the worst. So once it gets into the lymphatic system, it's a real problem for you. So she couldn't walk. She was doing all kinds of volunteer work down in Ecuador, but her whole life was walking up and down mountains and on her foot, and in her house going up and down her stairs. So she couldn't do that because this cancer was now starting to take her foot away. Look at the date. That picture was taken on April the 18th, around 2 o'clock. That's when she received the products. April the 18th, right? 4 days later, after she started taking the product, this was the difference in her foot. Now, to you, that may still look like a sore, but to a doctor and a trained eye, you know what they see? Yeah, see, you don't even have to be very trained to see that, right? Because it's drying up. It's drying up and it's starting to turn to a scab. You can see that. Dr. Prasad, on the previous picture, Dr. Prasad said that's necrosis. So the rotting of the flesh. That's what's there. In the next picture, 4 days later, it's changing. And look at this one. This is April the 28th. Wow. Another 6 days later. How is this even possible? How's this possible? So it's already starting to heal. I mean, she's going back out into her regular volunteer activity. So she got her life back in just a few days. This is May the 1st. Same foot, same person. And there it is. April the 18th, that's where it started. On May the 1st, that's what happened to her foot. And again, if I didn't know the people who told the story and the gentleman who actually took the pictures, the former missionary down in Ecuador, he wouldn't have made this up. And obviously you can tell that the pictures are not AI generated also. So we won't even talk about that. But again, results are atypical. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. And I'm saying that because we're also live streaming on YouTube. So I'm trying to repeat that so YouTube doesn't shut down the video. We can talk about what we want to do here, but now that it's public, people can hear that. We have to make sure of that. Dr. Prasad simply says, all you have to do is block the uptake of glucose and glutamine. Cancer has to have glucose and glutamine. Two things, glucose and glutamine. Cancer must have that. High doses of antioxidants, which guess what? That's what Micro Daily happens to be. High doses of antioxidants. You can't take the standard amount for a 20-year-old soldier. You take 3 times. So instead of 2 twice a day, you take 6 twice a day. And most people who want to make sure they take 6 3 times a day. And we'll give that cancer a chance to recover. So isn't that interesting? It's just that simple. And it really is just that simple. Do we recommend some more things? Of course we do. We recommend, Dr. Prasad recommends other things for your gut. We recommend some things for the liver, because all those dead cancer cells got to go somewhere. We recommend things for the brain, because if you happen to be taking chemotherapy, we recommend support for the brain also, and other things. And that's what Dr. Prasad's the next slide, Dr. Prasad mentions a couple of those things that you should also take in addition. So again, I'm not going to go into a lot of the details on this. You can talk to the person that invited you, and they'll tell you how to get your hands on the product. But before I pass our program on to the Giants, so you can hear about credit repair, I want you guys to understand something that the Healthcare Support Association of America is doing. The objective of the association, thanks to the Giant and thanks to Mr. Eastman, and the relationship that they're establishing for us with one of the largest grant writers in the country. The Healthcare Support Association of America is right now being queued up for funding. If the funding goes through, there'll be all kinds of benefits that will be available to the association. And so you're some of the first ones that literally is hearing about these benefits in this room, and those who happen to be listening right now on YouTube. Some of the benefits are, and I'll tell you, you already know Dr. Nkuzi. I called Dr. Nkuzi to tell him what was starting to happen. And normally we sit around and we kick and we talk a little bit. How's the family? How's this? How's that? And every other thing under the sun. And at the time, all I said to him was, what's it going to take to get your undivided attention? He said, I'm listening. We never have conversations like that because he knew something different was taking place. And I said, I need a medical director. He said, count me in. And those of you who have heard him and know about him and his reputation know that that's significant. So He's not just a medical doctor, he's a veteran oncologist, 30 some years in oncologist, but he's also a holistic medicine expert. So he used to be the international spokesman for Heal, the largest holistic medicine company in the world. He was their international spokesman. So there are still many people in the holistic world who would know him. But anyway, he's going to be working with us. So a medical team is being put together. So what does that mean? Some of you, Dolores, when Iris has someone in the hospital, she calls you, and then what do you do?
You and Jeff, if you just got the thought.
There you go. That's the string. What if I'm busy? What if Jeff's busy? What if Dr. Prasad's on vacation? The woman's going to die because we can't get an answer to you? Well, that's about to change. Because now there's going to be a medical team put together of trained professionals. And we'll, of course, make sure that they know what's important to us. They're going to know that Dr. Prasad's formulas is the foundation cornerstone of any protocol they put together. They cannot dislodge that. They'll know that. But all of your clients, every one of you will be able to get access to that kind of support. Mr. Eastman has already made contact with one of the largest private insurance providers in the country. That will also be a potential option, have access to that insurance coverage from a private insurer. Can you imagine that? And he said to me, I said, wait a minute, the doctor's got to declare something medically necessary in order for the insurance company to pay for it. And Mr. Eastman says to me, he says, yeah, but Kaiser has all kinds of alternative and holistic doctors. He says, we'll only deal with them. So those will be the ones that we will be able to partner with, their network of people who will respect our viewpoints, not the ones who demand that you take tamoxifen if it's not necessary. Again, I have nothing against tamoxifen. I have nothing against chemo. I have nothing against radiation. I have nothing against surgery. I have nothing against all the conventional treatments, that are out there. But I am, though, is very pro alternatives if they're available. And I believe that Dr. Prasad's formulas are among the best of the alternative options in the world. And I've seen that happen. And so that's what's going to be taking place with respect to the Healthcare Support Association of America. And Joanna?
I mean, you always say help the doctors help you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about providing help.
Help the doctors help you. That's helping you. So that's the whole point of it. So if the doctor is recommending certain things and you choose conventional, we simply want to make that work better. So in fact, that's one of Dr. Prasad's things. If you're taking chemotherapy, this makes the chemo work better. You're taking radiation, it makes it work better. You see this happen with Iris, with anyone. So we're not saying that this is instead of, it's whatever you want to do. We work with you. And that's what will be happening with the Healthcare Support Association of America. So it's going to be worth it to be involved. There's going to be a membership, fee, but the list. In fact, we started working on the list of benefits that will come from it. It was like 2 or 3 pages of benefits that will come by virtue of the relationship with the medical team and the relationship with Kaiser and as a VIVA organization. So we're excited. We're stupid excited over the possibilities here. And I wish I could bring this microphone over to Mr. Eastman because I want you to tell your story. Would you mind telling your story? What's happening with you with the whole Dr. Prasad's formulas?
Sure.
And what's working with you?
Yeah. I think I got a voice that carries very well. Everybody can hear me? Can you? I'm not a shy guy. I can talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew in to Houston from Puerto Rico. I reside in Puerto Rico at least half of the year for tax purposes. We'll get into that part in my presentation later. I occasionally go back and visit my money in Puerto Rico and suggest that's a good idea for those that have money you might want to visit, right? And so I had got to the point, I collapsed 3 years ago. I was in Vegas. That's where I'm at 6 months minus a day, because I have to be in Puerto Rico 6 months plus a day to keep that tax status. All right. So I'm down there and I'm running around. Miss Robin is my admin up here in the front row. Wave to everybody, Miss Robin. And we were in the middle of a class. Literally, I thought I was done. And I wasn't thinking quite right. And she knows that she needs to make a few phone calls if I'm not acting quite right. And so the service dog, which many times knows things that we don't pick up on as humans. I don't have a service dog, but the guy I was staying with did have a service dog. And he was not leaving the door of my room. He was, in essence, trying to alert his owner that something's not right. And Miss Robin also on the phone trying to alert that something's not quite right. I don't just quit in the middle of a class. I had collapsed. By the time they got me to the emergency room, my blood pressure was 290 over 240. And it stayed there for nearly 6 hours. They're pumping me tight with all kinds of synthetic drugs. They didn't know how my heart didn't explode at those levels. And I've had high blood pressure since I was 16. Not that level, but high. And so in the process of collapsing, I've been on 4, sometimes 5 blood pressure medications. I've always believed in holistic, and I've actually ran campaigns, healthy, wealthy, wise. If you saw me walk in, you might buy into, he knows something about wealth I don't know, but I'm going to have a hard time convincing you I know something about health you don't know. I'm not the picture of health, right? I've been adding 10 pounds a year, used to bring it on in the winter, and then everything I did in the summer, it would come back off. But then all of a sudden, it quit coming back off. So I was 50 pounds overweight, 80 pounds overweight, 120 pounds overweight. I've lost 40. Not all of it due to this product, but an additional now 8 pounds since I've been on the product for 1 month. I started this challenge. What is today?
Today's the 13th, September 13th.
15th marks my 30 days, and I'm on a 90-day challenge. Okay. I had heard of Dr. Prasad, and I'll give a little bit of that later, but I came into the Houston airport. I know enough about coming into a big airport like Houston or Atlanta or DFW that if your plane is in another concourse, you're going to do some walking. And I could barely shuffle. I was dragging my feet. I do have a below the knee amputation if you didn't see me come in and sit down. So I am a below the knee amputee, but I was dragging my feet and literally catching it on carpet and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, I'm beat. It's something more than jet lag. I'm used to traveling the world. I've been in 156 different countries for wealth purposes. So they meet me. I said, I don't normally play the handicap card, but can you meet me with a wheelchair? So they wheeled me from one place to another place. So by the time they're picking me up in Miami, I said, man, I am just dragging. And I'd ordered the product, but the product somehow thought I was going to be in Arkansas, where Miss Robin was at. And so I had product, but I didn't have any product to take. And so I started on the product, and I had known about Dr. Prasad because of my connections with special forces. I'm not special forces. I'm intelligence community. Other thing you might not guess if you look at me, that intelligence community, I don't know about that. But I was working, and these guys, as they were in the field, I would notice that if we ever got cut away from the supply lines, they would reach into their fatigues and pull this MFF, the original formulation that was created and funded by Congress for military. All of these guys have it. And there was one time we were cut off from supplies, and they said they could live on that MFF formula for 30 days without experiencing any malnutrition because all the nutrients they needed right there. Now they took one look at me and they said, we can get by with 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. You better take 4 morning, noon, and night. You're a big boy, you know? And so that's what they put me on. So I said, you know this, Dr. Prasad, find him for me. Okay. So we are on a health and wealth restoration journey. We're showing people how to recover retirements and things like that. So here I am going on my 30 days and no blood pressure medication. I actually was concerned because it had taken it. I've never had low blood pressure. It was taking it the other way. And I'm thinking, wow, okay, this is not normal for me. And so I'm thinking it's such a wide change. And so I've been calling up Jonathan and saying, okay, I'm having this problem. What should I do? This problem. What should I do? And so I'm taking a therapeutic dose of several different things. The CBD is my favorite product. I'm like Evel Knievel. I think every bone in my body at this point has been busted at one point or another. And so I ripped my rotator cuff and just almost ripped this arm off. Well, I fell once and got hung in a ladder. And so I'm suspended by this arm and it just ripped literally all the muscles. I couldn't do this, just a few months ago. I couldn't bend over and touch the floor. The floor is not getting any closer. It's just, I can now reach over and touch the floor. I'm not dragging my feet anymore. I'm off my blood pressure medication. I'm only 30 days in. And so I'm thinking, where are we going to be off this therapeutic dose 60 days, 90 days, and a year from now? Where are we going to be? So another 8 pounds. I've got 80 to go to get to my goal weight. Okay. I've always been a big guy. I'm never going to be petite like Jonathan up here, but I am excited about the progress and the journey. And literally, I'm a walking, talking good thing at this point. Because if you can tell somebody you can affect their health and you can affect their wealth, because take one of those, remove one of those, and I might think, well, I can't really afford a therapeutic dose.
Yeah.
So we started an association that if money were the only reason you're not taking these products, is there a way that we could subsidize and make that available? I lost my dad to brain cancer. I had him in remission twice because of my beliefs in holistic medicine. I wasn't using this product, didn't have access to this product, but I did have access to a book that I read back in 1974, A World Without Cancer, in 1974. And so I was reminded in the intelligence community, we have never lost a president to cancer, and there's a reason. They take therapeutic doses of certain nutrients. All of them are found in the core 4.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Eastman.
Thank you so much.
That,
It's a testimony.
Yeah. that's a story. That's a story, folks. And this is what he's talking about here. So when he came, he and Naja came down to Plantation, Florida. And I reached into my file cabinet and handed him one of those. Because Jeff Ashby made sure that I had a few packages of this. So they don't have a whole lot of them at all. But I figured if anybody need to have one, it was Mr. Eastman and Naja. So anyway, I wanted him to tell that story because he's not just here just because he thinks it's a nice idea to get behind the Center for Health, the Healthcare Support Association of America. He's a living, breathing testimony of its effectiveness. So that's why we're partnering up together, and that's why my wife and I, founders of the Healthcare Support Association of America, are excited to be working along with the two of them. We're excited about it. So once again, we should be thanking this man. And so I'm going to get out of the way, and it's time now to hear from our esteemed Nede Najaya, and she's going to tell you guys a little bit about how to get our financial world and our financial life cleaned up. And so let's take it and give our attention now to Najaya. She's the best one to introduce herself and tell you everything she does. And there's no one like Najaya, by the way. He lights up the room as soon as she steps in, and there's nobody like this woman right here. So please welcome the giant to this thing. And we know you don't need that microphone, but we want it anyway.
I'm being loud because we want the Hilton to know.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna move
Stay
this
within
one
view
so you can
of
grab
that,
it.
all right?
And then yeah, I'm staying right here. Am I on live? I'm live right now.
You're live stream right now. The whole world can see you.
Yeah, we have to be politically correct because we're live streaming. So anyway, first of all, while I sent the presentation to you, Jonathan, so while he's getting that presentation,
Oh, okay, good.
I emailed it to you so you didn't have to look through it. While he's getting started, I believe in energy because energy, currency is money, currency is energy. So can y'all stand for me a little bit? We got to break this, honey. I see some billionaires coming through. I see some millionaires coming through, you know? So while we getting the, he told me I had to stand in one place, Jesus. So while we getting this through, just to let y'all know, I just believe in just being alert to where we are so we can get ourselves centered, y'all. So I just want to have you say 3 things, and I just want you to say it like you mean it. Can I get that? Just 3 things, 3 things. So the first thing I want you to say is, I am alert. Y'all didn't say it like I believe it. Somebody sleep. I am alert. I am aware. And I listen, and I am alive. I'm alive, I'm alert, and I'm aware. Let's do it. I'm alive, alert, and I'm aware that I'm a billionaire. See, whenever we now, I ain't want to be racial stereotyping, but whenever we talk about money, we drop that part. We got to keep that part up, okay? Because I was alive, alert, aware, and it was. I am alive. I'm alert. I'm aware. I'm a billionaire. All right. So I'm super excited because Jonathan is on the technical side. I ain't got to do that part. Y'all can have a seat. I just needed to change that energy because when we started talking about money, guys, I'm gonna have you to know that in an African American household, that money is the least conversation. Okay, it is the least conversation that we talk about, and we need to talk about our finances. We need to get together. We need to also have what's called the family office. Who got a family office at the house? Put your hand out, Mr. Eastman. So the family office, guys, is where you get together with your loved ones, look, right, neat, all them, bring them to the table and discuss these finances, okay? Because it's so important that we come together and discuss finances.
You said Ray.
Ray and Nene. And Jonathan Earl. Okay. So yeah, that's our big name for him. So anyway, guys, it's so important though, because we want the world to know that we can have the finances too. I live out of the country right now. I live in Jamaica. And one thing I love about Jamaica is because we're no longer the minority. We're the majority in Jamaica, okay? We handle the banks, we handle in business. And so sometimes it makes you think like we gotta have somebody, you know, kind of over us, you know? But it's not so. Can y'all say it's not so? Y'all believe it. It's not so. It's not so. Say it with authority. It's okay. That's all right. And so y'all, it's okay for me to have this conversation, y'all, because my people that work with me, they black on the inside. So it's okay for me to have this conversation. It's okay. We're gonna talk about this, okay? So guys, I'm here to talk about your finances and your credit. And the reason being because credit is a wealth game. What is it? It's a wealth game. And when the credit system was put in place, when the wealth game was put in place, most minority was slaves. So were we included in the wealth game? No. So in order to play this game, you have to learn what the game that they're playing, okay? And credit is one of the games. It's a way of redlining us from getting things that we should rightfully have, okay? So we coming. I don't know how much I can talk. But anyway, y'all, but I do want to give a small testimony while he pulling it up. So I was introduced to Micro Daily back in the end of 2019. And when I came to Micro Daily, guys, I had my mother-in-law, she had dementia. So she had been in a rest home from 2017 all the way until 2022. And so at the time I was dating, I started dating in 2019, and I decided that, the person asked me to marry them. They asked me every year, and I have 5 wedding rings to prove that they asked me every year. And I kept saying, nope, nope, nope. So then we got to Lawrenceburg, North Carolina, where my family is. And my mom's sister, my aunt Pop, she's so sweet. One day she said something about, are y'all gonna get married or something like that? And so I looked at her. She was like, well, he's a good man. If you don't marry him, if she don't marry you this year, leave her. So I was like, let me get some act right. So I started planning. I called my sister. I said, we need to plan a wedding. So that's what happened. But the reason why I wouldn't marry him because his mother was in a rest home. And I felt like if you put your mom in a rest home, you won't be in there too. Period. So I looked at how you treat your mom. If your mom is sitting up in the rest home, you won't put me in there too. That's how I looked at it. Okay. It might be a little shady, but that's how I looked at it. So he said, I promise you, if you marry me, I'm gonna bring my mom from the rest home. I said, okay, so go on and bring her out. He said, well, think about it. We're getting married in a destination wedding. So if I bring her now, who's going to care for her because she can't travel? So just so happened, coincidentally, we got married on October the 10th, 2022. And then when we got married, we came back on the 17th. But just when we got to the airport, we got a call that his mom was abused in the home. So she was abused up. She was in a hospital. She had just everything. She was just beat up real bad. And so when I got there to the hospital, I was like, that's it. She's coming home with us. I don't care what's going on. She ain't even going back. So she came with me, but when she came, she could not speak. She didn't know who anybody was. She couldn't put a sentence together. And part of that is because she had dementia, but the rest home that they put her in was everybody spoke Spanish. So it wasn't that she couldn't pick up stuff, but if you're in a dementia childlike stage and everybody speaks Spanish, she begins to babble, and that was her language. And so that's what happened. So we finally got her to come home with us. I put her on Micro Daily, and when I put her on Micro Daily, she started talking. And I'm gonna have this before y'all leave here today. I'm gonna show you something. She was talking. She could identify who we were. She was kind of mad with me, right? Because dementia takes you back a little bit, right? So my husband looked exactly like his father. So she was just like, you Jezebel. That's my own husband. You have to be a Jezebel, and I still end up being one, right? So it was so funny. She was just kind of like, she thought I was dating her husband because they look alike. Because remember, she's in the dementia, and in dementia stage, it's the backwards, right? So when we put her on Micro Daily, and I have a video where she's dancing, she's singing. She used to be a professional singer, and she's dancing, she's singing, she's enjoying herself, and she was in her right mind. So from 2017 all the way to 2022, she didn't know where she was. They were saying it was stage 4 and it was chronic. But after she started taking Micro Daily, she was reversing. Even when they sent her to the hospice, because she had a spike in her sodium. So they sent her to the hospital, and they was like, well, you know what? She's really bad. You should just let her go. I didn't put it together what really hospice was. I'm just thinking because it's a hospital that they're working for her good. And it only dawned on me when we were in the hospice, and I looked at her food and it was expired. And I said, what? So I'm going to the desk. I'm just telling these people off. And you don't even give a dog expired food. I'm just going out. And they said, do you realize this is what we do? Because they stopped giving her medicine. But one thing about it, I kept giving her Micro Daily because nobody told me not to stop giving her the Micro Daily. So they were going to send her back home with me because she wasn't dying quick enough. And it was because of the Micro Daily. And so when I talked to one of her family members that was out of town, they said, stop giving her the Micro Daily. It's time for us to let her. And I stopped giving her the Micro Daily, and she died the next day at 6:30. And so that's my Micro Daily story. So this is a video that I want you guys to see. It's a video that is about legacy, and it's going to change your mind on some things. But it's something that I share everywhere I go, and it's so important that you see it, okay? So we're going to get started.
Miles, why don't we hear some?
That speaker seems to be off again.
We just turned it on, turned it up.
Sure what it's doing. Try it now.
McDonald's is a last name. Abercrombie and Fitch, last names. Armani is a last name. Baskin Robbins is a last name. Chrysler is a last name. Fisher Price, Gucci, Hennessy, Harley Davidson, Hilton, Honda, Kohl's, Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is a last name. Maybach is a last name. Nordstrom is a last name. Pillsbury is a last name. Porsche is a last name. Procter and Gamble, 2 last names. Rolls Royce, Charles Rolls, Henry Royce, last names. Turner Broadcast System, Ted Turner, last name. Versace, last name. Wells Fargo, Henry Wells, William Fargo, last name. Walgreens, last name. Wrigley's, last name. Welch's Grape Juice, last name. Here you are, you think you're buying a product. You're not buying a product, you're buying a name. You think you're wearing a product. Hey, look at this product. No, just say, look at this family. And what you don't know is while you're making every family rich, you're making yourself broke. So you don't went to one family called Wells Fargo and got $200,000 so you can go to another family called Rolls Royce so you can give them money and get yourself a car so you can go back to the hood and see the Joneses and say, look at what I got. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo family sitting up being rich and Harley Davidson's and Rolls Royce are being rich and the Joneses are sitting there holding up people's stuff saying, look at what we did and we broke. What if I told you that your blessing is attached to your name? That part of the reason why you're not wealthy yet is because you keep trying to make Yolanda wealthy. You keep trying to make Tasha wealthy. What if you made Johnson's wealthy? What if you started thinking about your kids? What if you started thinking about your legacy? What if God started dropping Canaan and opening up windows of heaven? Because now you're not just thinking about you, you're thinking, there are some people who are attached to you who say, Mama, can you do something with this name? There's some people who say, Dad, can you do something with this name? Maybe God gave you the name to change and reverse some of the stuff that the name meant one day. I wish there was somebody in this room that made my name might mean one thing right now. But I promise after today, this name get ready to change. I promise after today, everybody's going to walk my last name. I'm here to let you know you are a God's God. You're thinking kingdom. You are not just getting married, you're breaking a curse. You are not just graduating from college, you're breaking a curse. You are not just getting out of high school, you're breaking a curse. You are not just breaking a curse. I don't know what my name meant before I got here, but I know what's going to mean before I leave. You got a legacy. Power in your name. A legacy is something that is passed down. It is your mark. It is your footprint in the earth. It is your contribution to the world. Your legacy is something that is passed down. It is your mark. It is your footprint in the earth. It is your contribution to the world. I don't care about legacy. I'm single. I don't care about legacy. I don't have no kids. I don't care about legacy. My family never cared about me. I don't care about them. My life is my own. Why do I need to even think about legacy? Well, here's the thing I have to say to you. The thing you need to know is this. You are leaving a legacy whether you want to or not. Everybody in this room is going to leave a legacy. The question is, are you going to be intentional about the legacy you're leaving? Are you actually going to be intentional, or are you just going to let anything be passed down, anything be given to others on your behalf? Don't let it be so. It's like this past weekend, I went out to go preach. And when I went to go preach, I went into a city and I rented a car. When I went to the rental car, they said, go downstairs in the garage, you can grab any car. When I went down there were only 2 cars. There was one car that looked like it wouldn't make it past Monday. And then there was another car. So I went to this car, but when I got into the car smelled like cigarette smoke. And so I took off with the car because, I'm just like, hey, let me get out of here. And so I'm driving the car for a couple of days. When I bring the car back, drop off the keys, they say, hey, you have any problems with the car? I say, no problem with the car. They say, all right, cool. I leave. And they said, I looked on my email and they billed me $350. How you gonna charge me? I've never smoked a day in my life. I said, sorry, sir, you brought the car back smelling like cigarettes. I said, no, I didn't bring the car back smelling like cigarettes. Y'all brought me a car that smelled like cigarettes. They said, no, all we know is that you brought us a car with cigarettes, so you have to pay the price. Can I tell you something? That is a picture of many of our lives. Some of us live a life that stunk so bad. And many of you are paying a price for a life that you didn't live, but somebody lived before you, and they handed you down a name or a life that stunk so bad that now you got to pay forever for it. And I'm here to let you know, stop giving people this dirty, nasty, stinky life. Why don't you build a legacy so when somebody gets into the car of your life, they want to say thank you instead of, I can't believe what you did to me. Everybody here has struggled with an addiction that's not yours. It was an addiction that your family didn't deal with. It was an addiction that your father just overlooked. And so it got passed down to you. And now you're struggling with this addiction. But truthfully, if you track the addiction, your father had it, and your grandfather had it, and your great-grandmother had it, and your whole family had it. And because they didn't deal with it, because they weren't thinking legacy, now you're driving in a car that you got to pay for. And God is saying, the buck stops here. This is it. I put you in the earth because you're about to stop some stuff. I know people who went to go buy a house. And when they went to go buy a house, they saw their credit report. And the credit score was so jacked up. And when they saw the report, they realized that mama had gave out their social security number to the whole family. And everybody done rented stuff and didn't pay back. And everybody had electric bills and cell phones that don't even exist no more. Why? Because somebody didn't care about legacy and they handed you a bill and now you can't walk in Canaan, not because of your issues, but because some issues that were passed down. God forbid you are sitting in this place saying, I don't care about legacy. You care about it because somebody's got to live in the life you have. You are passing something down whether you want to or not. Why are you the only one who knows how to make that apple pie everybody love? Why are you the only one who knows how? So you mean tell me, can't nobody else make that sweet potato pie recipe but you? So you're going to just die and you're not going to tell nobody what the secret was? Even Colonel Sanders left his secret. Y'all, come on now. Even Colonel Sanders said, y'all make some good chicken, but when I'm gone, y'all going to keep making it. What I'm saying to you is, why is it that you're the only one? So you own all this real estate and you didn't share that with nobody? You're not going to tell nobody how to do that? You're the only successful marriage in your family. You're not going to tell nobody. You're gonna hoard this information so you can be the only one who wins. You have lost. You have lost. You have lost. And I'm telling you that you are going to have to look at your life and recognize that everything you are doing right now is having major and great impact. If you're going to leave a legacy, you're going to have to remember how you started, but focus on how you finished. I don't want you to forget how you started. I don't want you to forget that father wasn't there. I don't want you to forget some of the conditions that you were raised in. I don't want you to forget some of the rejection, some of the pain. No, I want you to remember how you started, but do not for 1 second let it dictate how you're going to finish. There's somebody in this room saying, Pastor, I don't understand. I hear you, but this sermon got me all messed up. I was feeling good. And then you done preach this sermon, and now I'm thinking about the 60 years of my life I've wasted. I'm thinking about the 60 years of hurt I caused. I'm thinking about the 60 years of stuff I did. I got some college student who's sitting here saying, Pastor, I wish I heard this word in my junior year in high school. I wish I heard this word in my sophomore year in high school, because I did some stuff as a sophomore that I'm still paying for now. I did some stuff as a senior that I'm still paying for now. Can I tell you something? Your yesterday may have been jacked up, but God knows how to take the old and make it new. I came to preach to somebody today and let you know your first 60 years was jacked up, but your next 60 days, God says, I will turn it into such impact. I will give it such greatness that you won't even remember some of the stuff that you jacked up. Legacy is built now, but experienced later. If you are going to leave a legacy, you got to start building now. I'm talking to college students. Okay, don't wait. Oh, when I graduate in 4 years, I'm just gonna live it up. And then when I graduate, I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna get serious about my life. Can I tell you something? I know 40-year-olds who are living under the consequence of things they did from 18 to 22. And they thought that when they left school, that they left the issue, not realizing that the issue followed them all the way into their adulthood. I'm telling you that right now you are a builder. Right now, you have to start building your life now. You got to start building credit now. You got to start building your finances now. You got to think like a farmer. A farmer thinks sowing. I'm sowing seeds, realizing that I'm not going to reap this until later. Your last name is bigger than your first name. I don't care how you got your name, but you need to be living for your last name. Your first name is about you, but your last name is about us.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to that. I think I have to be my own clicker today. Jonathan. Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys. Y'all gonna have to work with me because I'm gonna have to be my own clicker today. I need a clicker. Somebody help me. You bring a chair right there. Thank you, Robin. So. Y'all, I got a live human professional, beautiful clicker. Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about this. Welcome to the mindset, credit restoration, and financial education. This part is really going to be about how we can get from under our debt expeditiously. Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about. Again, finances is the least conversation held in an African American household. When you talk to somebody, especially those who are minorities, about big numbers, they drop their head. It seems impossible, but we want to get our children and our youth listening to big numbers and be able to hold their head high. Okay. Okay, this presentation is for educational purpose only. This is our disclaimer. It does not constitute for legal, financial, or credit repair advice. We do not guarantee specific results or outcome related to your credit scores and credit restoration. Always consult with a certified counselor or financial advisor before making any decisions about your credit. Be cautious of companies that promise to fix your credit quickly or charge an upfront fee. Y'all know it's illegal to charge an upfront fee for your credit. It is illegal. Stop paying them people. Okay. And Credit Karma is not a credit company. It's not a bureau. It's not a credit company. It is a credit card company that wants to sell you credit cards. So that's why they report your score on Credit Karma 60 points below. So you'll think you need credit help. And then you go and get a credit card that you don't need, okay? So now, you have the right to dispute any inaccurate information on your credit report for free through official channels. What I'm gonna share with you today, you can do this for free. You do not have to go anywhere. You can do this for free at home, okay? So we're gonna help you with that on today. This is the question of the day. What is your relationship with your money? Y'all like, that's none of your business. But you ain't got to tell me. So we should have a relationship with our money, just the way we got a relationship with our husband, our wife, our, whatever they call them, boo or significant other, whatever you got. Just the way you have a relationship with them, you need to have a relationship with your money, okay? Are you single, okay? Does your money and all of your money go on you? Is you. All of my money is on me. It's been spent on me. I'm not saving. I'm not doing anything. I'm just spending on me. I'm living my best life, okay? Are you separated from your money? Did your money go out and not come back? Okay. And this is temporary. It's gone out, but you really don't know how long it's going to take to get back. This is called your return on your investment. You put it in something, but you have no clear terms of when it's coming back. So you may not be divorced from it, but you're separated because you don't know when it's coming back. Now, are you divorced from your money? You don't put your money in something. You don't know. They don't know. It ain't never coming back. You ain't never getting it back. It's just gone. Okay, that's being divorced. Or are you married? Do you have a healthy relationship with your money? When your money goes out, does your money put on overalls and go out and work for you? Or are you still going out and working for you? Money is meant to be passive, and it's meant for you to go put overalls on your money, send your money out while you stay home, let your money does what it do and come back in and you say, thank you, boo. And then you take your money and you just deposit, right? And so this is being a healthy relationship where you spend something and you know what the return on your investment is and when it's coming back. Sometimes with my son, if he wants to buy something, I'm gonna say, well, do you have it 3 times? So if the thing is $1,000, do you have 3,000? Once you get 3,000, then you can buy that one thing. If you're doing that principle, it'll be awesome. Okay, so your relationship with your money directly affects your credit score. And this is really true. We did not even need credit. Did y'all know credit just existed in 1989? It seemed like it's been a long time, right? Yeah, it's just 1989. It just seems like it's a long time. Okay. Most importantly, how's your credit health? This is just for you guys as to take a rate in your mind where you are at your credit right now. Just take a screenshot. You don't have to share with anybody. This is for you to know where you are. This is my introduction. I always give it. So my name is Coach Naja Taylor. I live in the Discovery Bay, St. Anne, Jamaica. I am on tour right now, and I'm really appreciative of even in this space with you guys. I have 5 children. Their ages are 35, 34, 32, 21, and 15. And I tell my 15-year-old when he get in trouble, I said, you got 2 good Christmases, and then you got, but he ain't been in trouble lately. I said, I have been traveling around the world teaching finances. This past August made 37 years. And my passion and purpose for being with you today is to let you know that greater is coming. I'm a mindset and financial coach, and I pray that you know that you already have the keys of wealth inside of you. We're just going to be activating. See this beautiful person up here? Stand up, Philomene. So this is my sister, guys, and I just always give honor to her. She's the backbone of everything I do. As a coach, I'm around a lot of people, and she's always the one that if I'm having a bad day, she'll say, dance. I'm like, what? Dance. I'm like, dance, let's dance. Are you dancing? I'm like, yeah, I'm dancing. But she's the strength of everything I do. She's a quiet storm, and I always make sure that she's acknowledged. Because sometimes when you're quiet and you're willing to just be in the back and let others shine, people forget about you. But I can never forget about her. And she's just everything. She's a support. She's a prayer warrior. Just everything. So I love her so much. So that is my sister Philomene Endeavor. I always like to say some personal stuff. So this is me at a women's conference in Jamaica. So I said I'm my sister's keeper. This is my baby girl, Tisa, and then my grandson, Jaden. And of course, my sister is there. And this is my grandmother. She just passed this February, but she's my best friend. She was my best friend. Like I always tell people, you know, I'm her favorite. And so in front of everybody else, she'd be like, I was like, Grandma, ain't I'm your favorite. She's like, but then when she's like, she makes my eye like, baby, you know. Like, yes, ma'am, I know. Okay. So that's my grandmother, and I love her so much. My daddy's mother, but I love her so much. So anyway, you can go. I always like to share something personal about myself, because when you're talking about finances and when you're talking about health, that's personal. And I don't expect anybody to open up personal to me if I can't open up personal to you. Okay. So let's get started. Let's get it started. Okay. So you must be an active participant in your own rescue. I give this analogy, and this is a true analogy. I just learned how to swim this year. I'm 52 years old, and I just learned how to swim. Okay. But when we were on tour 6 years ago, they took me out to a place called Myrtle Beach, and I was out there with one of the partners. He was out there, Mr. Derek Kelly. We out there, and he said, Coach, come get in the water. And I was like, I can't swim. I said, I'm not coming out there because I know I can't swim. I'm not going to play with it. So he says, I'm going to hold your hand. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. So I go out to the water. A big wave came and took Derek Kelly away. So I'm in the middle of the ocean, and the wave has taken Derek away, and I'm panicking. So I'm just flapping all around the water. Water's everywhere, thinking I'm going to die. And everybody's on the shore saying, Coach Naja, stand up. Stand up. Yeah, I was in 2 feet of water. So when you're flapping around here, people can even help me because I was just. So now you must be an active participant in your own rescue. Okay, so we're going to talk about your paycheck right now. We're going to break your paycheck down, and this is the reason why we need credit, because how paychecks are divided up. So let's talk about why you need credit. So a first look at your paycheck, and we're going to use a check of $900 just to stay on top, right? So 1/3 goes to taxes, 1/3 goes to, this is your fix. When it says collection, this is your fix, right? So this is going to be like your house, your car, the things that you must have. And then 1/3 you have to actually live on. So this is how it's broken down. So if you have a check, it's like 3, 3, and 3 if the check is 900. So let's just say that this is your check situation, and you got 1/3, which is 300. Okay. I ain't gonna even ask Miss Iris to answer this question. But you got a man and he got $300. Where y'all going to eat? He still got to have gas for his car. He still got to take care of some of his responsibilities. So where y'all gonna eat at?
He gonna cook.
He gonna cook. She in love, y'all. She in love. You know, some of these purses on cost $300. You can't even get a purse for $300. He can't, so he doesn't have a lot of money, or it could be a woman. She don't have a lot of money to actually properly even date you because the way the government is so much inside of it. So now that's why they turn to credit. They can cook. Okay. What kind of cooking though?
Oh, he cook and he bake. He do it all.
Now you talking about your real man. This was
That's a real one.
y'all pray for Miss Iris. She trying to help me. So anyway, so now let's talk about your taxes. We get 1/3 to income tax, federal tax, state tax, local tax, sales tax, property tax, gain tax, etc. Right? So then now we're going to talk about the credit and why we acquire credit, right? So we acquire the debt using credit to make up the difference of the 1/3 income that goes to the bank for your credit, auto, home loan, etc. So that means if you have a car loan, a house loan, and things like that. Now we're going to talk about big business. I always do this, and people are like, just to get y'all attention. So I want y'all to tell, it's the months. Listen, it's 12 months. Y'all know the months, right? So y'all gonna tell the month, and I'm gonna tell you how to get your money, okay? Hold on, let me put on get my acting skills together. Y'all
Ready.
just check it. Okay, tell me the first month.
January.
Happy New Year. So y'all going out buying red, white, and blue hot dogs and put on the grill, steaks and hamburgers because they just need an opportunity to get your money. What's the next month?
February.
Oh, February, you love him? Miss Iris said she love her man, but he close, baby. So he getting a gift, right? Because she loved him. They almost going to buy what? Cookie cakes, flowers, chocolates, all of those things. And they're going on dates. So now we have another opportunity to spend money in the big business. What's the next month? March, St. Patrick's Day. Because I don't want to be pinched at work. I'm going to buy green. She better not pinch me because I went buy green. So now you're going to buy all this green about the luck of the Irish, okay? Then what's the next month? April. Now you're going and look at the bunny. What the bunny got to do with the whole Easter baby? Nothing, right? So they done threw a bunny in there and we buying it. The bunny in the basket, right? And then you're going to buy clothes for the child that ain't been to church the whole year. But on Easter, you got to bring them and they got to have a new suit because they hadn't been there all year. So now we're going out and buying what? So now what's the next month? May. So now it's Mother's Day. And you had 364 days out the year to go buy your mama something a gift. But you gonna wait till this one day so we can drive capitalism up. And if they didn't get you for Mother's Day, if you a daddy's girl like me, what's the next month? Okay, happy Father's Day. Okay, and my daddy get something, baby, because he a good daddy, right? So now we're also running up big business. What's the next one? So July. So we're back at Independence Day, and they got us buying more red, white, and blue hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, barbecue sauce, all the stuff that we do, right? Still buying stuff. And they talking about Independence Day. Do y'all feel independent? Do we feel free? But y'all still bought them hamburgers and hot dogs. I'm mad with you guys. So what's the next month?
August.
Okay, August. Now it's time to go back to school. So we got to go school shopping for the kids, correct? Got to get them school clothes and everything. Mine's don't go school shopping. They go school washing. Get that tie, that gain, and let's go in here and wash these clothes. Period. Okay. What's the next month?
September.
And I'm really mad with y'all about that. I just came out this September because I'm mad with y'all. The world done convinced y'all to celebrate Labor Day. Who celebrates labor? It was that. So now we celebrating labor. Hot dogs, hamburgers again, doing the red, white, and blue thing. The grill's coming out again because we feel like that we need to celebrate labor. So that's what we're doing. What's the next month? Happy Halloween. Now we love the Lord, but we're just not children of as goblins and monsters and letting them look like Satan and all this other stuff. And we buy all this candy because you want the child to come by your house and say trick or treat. No. So now, what's the next month? November. We're celebrating mass murder. Come on over here and have a dinner at my house. Happy Thanksgiving. We're thankful because it was surrounded around mass murder. But we celebrating because it's big business. What's the next month?
December.
Now, if they ain't get y'all no other month, I'm finna get y'all. I know exactly who it is. Y'all know they got y'all with baby Jesus. Y'all know y'all can't turn down baby Jesus. He's so innocent. So they got you again, and we buy all these gifts, but guess who didn't get a gift? Jesus, come on now. But it's big business, and it's the biggest holiday of the year. Then they turned around, even in November though, if you back up a little bit, they say we ain't get enough of their money, we're gonna throw in Black Friday. And we stand out there for hours for Black Friday, okay? Now, newsflash, most of you in here, I'm gonna say 98% of the room, I'm gonna have to take out 2 people. But most of y'all Black every Friday. So why I gotta wait till this particular Black Friday to go spend your money? So this is big business. Now look, raise your hand and that's telling you shame the devil. Anybody participating in any of these big business? Only raise your hand. Come on now. Y'all can tell us you raise your hand in this hours. You know you participated. Both your hands up, Jonathan. All y'all know y'all participated in one of those big businesses throughout the year, okay?
Not after this one, I'm not going.
But that's how they take our money. Okay, so now we're talking about inflation. Now that all of the money is gone, we still have to save for retirement and the cost of living that keeps on going up, which is considered inflation. All right. We fight errors. Just listen, Linda. Okay, so we fight errors. So I want people to know that I don't do what we consider the traditional credit repair. That's not what I do. I fight errors. And the law says that on your credit report, it must be 3 things. It must be current, accurate, and it must be verifiable. Current, accurate, and verifiable, right? If it's not, then it is considered an error, okay? You have one account that reports to 3 credit bureaus, okay? If they all not saying the same thing, there is an issue and it can be deleted. It doesn't matter if you did it or not. So a lot of times people come to me and I be going on their credit, like, I didn't do that, my boyfriend did that. Oh yeah, he stole my credit. I said, man, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. So it's just fun. This is a fun thing. Let's get through it. It's an error. It's coming off anyway. You only need the explanation. Okay, so let's go to the next. What does that mean? It means I don't care. I don't care if you did it or not, right? So I really don't care if you did it or not. The credit bureau is mandated by law to make sure that the information placed on your credit report is accurate, current, and verified. Now, the law says that Section 609 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act outlines the requirement for consumer reporting agents to disclose information from a consumer file upon request. This includes the information contained in as well as the source of that information. Consumers can use this information to dispute inaccuracies or outdated information on their credit report. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to where it says, right here. This includes the information contained as well as the sources of the information. You ain't gotta raise your hand, but if you got a bankruptcy on your report, no bankruptcy court in the United States reports to the credit bureau. All you have to do is go to the state that you're on, go to the thing, put in bankruptcies versus credit report, get the letter as a PDF, and just send it in, and they will immediately take it off. So if you have a bankruptcy on your credit, you don't have to live with it, okay? And so current, we're gonna talk about current, accurate, and verifiable. Our old address is current. Okay, listen, everywhere, you might have a great, I'm gonna say a fair to good credit score and still be denied. And the reason why you're denied is because every place you have ever lived is on your credit report. Every place you have ever worked is on your credit report. Every number that you ever had is on your credit report. So they're looking for stability. So if I'm going to give you a $1 million loan and you got 20 addresses and then you also have 20 employments, I'm not giving you that loan because I need to know where you're going to be. So when people clean up their credit, it's going to show on my credit screen, it shows it's negative because there are points attached to that because you seem unstable to the creditor. Okay. So we want to make sure if you have good credit, you want to do a cleanup. Okay. So that can get you, and we can take care of that today if you need that. So our late payments current. Y'all didn't know trick question. No, they're not. They're like, no. So let me tell you something about late payments. Most late payments on your credit report are illegal. Okay. And the reason why they are is because one, let's say that your bill was due on the 17th and you didn't pay it and you paid it on the 30th. So it was indeed late. But when you pay that late payment, they have to bring your account back to what? Current. So they have to report that you've paid it. So it brings it back current. Also, before anything can be placed on your credit report, you were supposed to receive a phone call. to say, hey, Ms. Dolores, we just want to verify that you do have an account with this company because they're reporting this and we're gonna put, how many y'all got a call about y'all credit report? It's illegal. All right, so let's go to the next part. Now we're going to talk about accurate and inconsistent. Okay, I said this before, you have one account that reports the 3 bureaus. If all 3 aren't saying the same thing, it is incorrect. Okay, other inaccuracies and for the reasons, we're going to go over that right now. Click to the next. Okay, verifiable. Can the information be verified? Is the person that's given the information verified? Now, this is what I'm going to ask y'all. How many credit reporting agencies are there? If you say 3, raise your hand. It is 58. And you're only focused on 3. And so that's why you don't get everything taken care of. So we have something called consumer report agencies, and I have the book. And if you need it, you will see Philomene and give her your address. So what we do with this book is you call. It is in alphabetical order. Whether you feel like you have it or not, just call. And you're going to call and say, hey, my name is Naja Taylor. I just want to know if you have a report on me. And they're going to give you some, make you verify you yourself, some verify questions, and then they're going to say either yes or no. If they say yes, you say, can I get a copy of the report? They're going to ask you, how do you want it? Okay. Now, once they say, can I help you with anything else? You're going to say yes. I want to opt out. You have to say those words. I want to opt out. Because remember, this is just a company that came up and decided to collect information on you without your permission, but they're also the deciding factor of whether you get something or not. It's not just your credit report. And so and I tell people, when you go, be strong, because some of these reports, we had one lady that we did hers, and on the report, she was in her partner complex, and they had the notes on there where she pay on time, but she has a nasty attitude. Oh, so she was wondering why she couldn't get in the nicer complexes, and she had to settle for something that she really didn't want. And so that's why you need to get these reports. If people are speaking on you, you need to know what people are saying about you. Okay, I remember we old school. Y'all remember the 3-way phone call? You remember your girlfriend be talking about you? They're like, put it on the 3-way, and you don't say nothing, so you can hear what she's saying. So then you be quiet, and as soon as you hear, you come busting off the 3-way. Okay, so anyway, that was just this old school. Okay, so bankruptcy courts again do not report to the credit bureau. So who supplied the information? One of those 50 agencies, the other 55 agencies that you don't even think about. Okay, they supplied the information, and it's illegal, so it will come on. Okay, now, how was it reported is the most common errors. A collection with a balance. Is that inaccurate or accurate? I gave y'all a clue. Is it accurate? So a collection means that the collection agency paid for that. So if it says collection agency or if you see original creditor, that means they paid for your debt, right? So let's say your debt was $500. Even if they paid $50, they have to deduct that $50 to make the balance current, okay? But because they sold it, that's why they don't want to change it, because it'll throw an eye on it, right? So a collection with a balance is illegal. So that means that the collection agency paid the debt, right? A charge-off means the same thing, but it means the insurance paid it. Okay, so a lot of people have cars that's stuck on their credit report. Maybe they voluntarily turned it in or whatever the situation was, and the car is on their account. So now, once let's say for instance, you have a car and it's on your credit report. When the next tax season happens from that point, you can actually have it removed because they're going to file it on their taxes, and they cannot file your car as income tax if you can't file it as well. Okay, so that's just a little secret there. So, but that charge off comes off. So if the charge off is on there and it has a balance, it is illegal because the insurance paid it, so it should be reported at a zero balance. So that can be removed. Now, so that which it says original creditor, then my thing is this. I have her. What's your name again? Miles. So Miles represents AT&T. I have an account with AT&T. I done got my brand new Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I'm just planning on getting it, not paying the bill, because I just want the phone because I want to look like the Joneses look, okay? So now we done contracted. I got my new phone. I don't pay my bill. So now Miles sick of me keeping a report me to the credit bureau. So then in the process, Robin comes along and say, hey, I'll buy that debt from you. So when she goes and buys the debt from him, now she's coming after me. right? Even when I go to Miles and try to make it right, he said, no, because I've done so, right? So two things happened. One is illegal because he broke the HIPAA law because he transferred my social security number and all my personal information to Robin. That is illegal. The second thing he did is the contract is between two people. Once you sold it to her, baby, thank you. I'm not paying you because I don't have any contract with her and I don't have any legal obligation to pay her. Okay. If she took on her business as to say, well, I want to collect a debt and I feel like I can get the money for her. Okay, you feel like you can get it. You can pick a date. We can be surprised together. Okay. So that's just what it is. I'm not paying her. So if it says original creditor, you do not have to pay that debt because you don't have a contract on it. So now bankruptcy without supplying this, we talked about that. Some late payments, we talked about that, and then incorrect, inconsistent reporting of information. So now do you need a credit cleanup? And this is what we just talked about. Every address you ever lived at is on your credit report. Also now, because we have public tracking, let's just say I'm going to your house, we're going to a white party. I realize I don't have white. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go to Amazon and have them to overnight it. Now your address is on my credit report. How many times have we mailed something to somebody's house? Okay. Especially, when you had a relationship, you got a boyfriend, you rent big. No, it don't even work. So send your stuff to your own address, okay? Every name or name variation. So I'm using the word William because a lot of people that I know, the name of William, their nickname is Bill, okay? So Bill, William, so they have all these variations on their name. Even if you were married, you have all the names on your credit report. You want to take those off. And every job that you have ever worked at will be there. Sometimes people have their current job, retired, 1099 employee, and they work for the Department of Correction, and they work at Belks. Like, it's really confusing. And to the creditor, they use a computer to do this now because we have AI. So they use a computer. So nobody's really reading your credit. They use a computer. And so when the computer see all them addresses and all that, it confuses them. And so what they do, deny it. Because they're using a computer. We're not having human people to do it anymore. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, what is a credit score? It's a 3-digit number predicted your credit risk, and it ranges from 300 to 850, higher or better. Do anyone know Fair Isaac? Anybody? Fair Isaac. Anybody know Fair Isaac? You pay him every week on your check. FICA. Fair Isaac Corporation of America. Okay. He just became into existence at 89 and he opened up a company and said, listen, instead of you taking the risk for these loans for people, I'm going to create these companies and I'm going to basically tell you what their credit risk is. It just happened in 1989, even though it seemed like a long time. We didn't. Before 1989, we did barter, we did trading and other things that we did amongst each other. Okay. And so let's go to the next score. Oh, before I go, it says 850. It's okay. It says 850, but do you know there is a 999 credit score? Did y'all know that? It's a classification. So it's for the wealthy, millionaires, billionaires, a classification, right? And so that's what it is. If you pay attention to, like, if you get denied for something, it'll say we touch your score range from 0 to 999. But people don't pay attention to that. But that is just a classification. So what's on the credit report? You have personal information, credit accounts, payment histories, inquiries, collection, and public records. How many inquiries should you have per credit report? But how many should we have? 2. But you was close up. A for effort. Okay, click to the next one. So now, this is how your credit score is divided. Your payment history is 35%. This amount owed is 30% of your credit report. So that's why when you have your credit cards, your credit debit ratio comes in here. So you want to make sure that you have that. The length of your credit history is 15%. The credit mix is 10%, and your new credit is 10%. Okay. So listen, payment history. Things get tight sometimes. Okay. Once you get your credit and stuff straightened out, when you go and you cannot pay that bill, send $5. I know y'all heard that, y'all think it work, but it do. They cannot report that you didn't make a payment in 30 days if you made a payment. Okay. So if things get tight, you want to pay the whole bill, but if things get tight, send that $5 in and be proud of your $5 when they get there and make sure they deduct it off your account. Okay. So we're good. Next one. So this is the top 5 credit myths, and we're gonna debunk them. Myth 1, you can only have 1 credit score. Okay? If you have My FICO, which is an account, this is an account that is, it's a little bit higher to get this account. It's like $49 a month or $50 a month, but they have all your credit scores, your auto credit score, your FICO credit score, your mortgage credit score. They have different things towards what you get. So sometimes people say, well, I went for a house and I was denied, because you might have looked up your regular credit score that you have here, your general credit score, but you have a mortgage credit score. And so, but FICO is the one, it's called My FICO. They're the one that they're close to the credit bureaus as this instant. So when you look at your credit score, it's within a day or two, not like other credit reports that only change once a month. That's why they only want you to get the credit report once a month, but it's going to show you accurate at that given time. Okay. So now the income affects your credit score. Income does not affect your credit score, right? At all. Closing accounts improves your score. It does not. If you close a credit score, it's going to hurt you on the 15%, which is your length of history. Okay. When you go, when a credit account go bad, it goes bad instantly. So let's say if you have a late payment, that 35% of whatever it is calculated at that time. So if you go back and pay that off, it doesn't help it go back up. So that's why we look for errors to remove it, because once we remove the account that has an error, all that points go back. And so that's how you get people say, well, my score went up 100 or 300 or 400. I do want you to know that there are some scammer people that they will tell you that, oh, we're going to help your credit, right? And they tell you, you pay them, and then all of a sudden your credit go up. And you just like, oh, on Facebook and everybody, yeah, so listen, when we get ready to dispute something, because it's in disputation, they bring it off your credit score. But then if they decide to put it back, then they put it back. Now you got this, but you don't want to tell everybody they're a great, amazing credit repair company. Now you got all your family buying from them and they can't really do what they say they're going to do. Okay. So that's why I fight errors. I don't really fight anything, because an error you can see clear as day, and that's it. So let's go to credit repair companies erase bad credit. That's absolutely false. And you can fix errors yourself. You can't fix errors yourself. You truly can't fix them yourself. You don't need anybody to do it for you. It's simple as sending the account number, what it is, and you can just simply say, I ain't do it. And listen, I know that's a song, but you can literally say, I ain't do it, or it ain't mine. It's on them to verify and do it for you, okay? Now let's begin the workshop. So those of you who are gonna have your credit repaired today, we want to set the expectation. So you're gonna pull a 3-in-1, right? From Identity, IQ, or Credit Hero. If you need to get it done, you can. If you want to do this and set an appointment, you can. So either way, you can set an appointment and do it now, or you can, we can do it now, or you can set an appointment and do it, okay? So in the 3-in-1 credit report, I didn't hear it, it's $1 for 7 days. So I don't suggest you do it until the time of your appointment, or if you're going to do it today, we're going to do it. It's going to be for a $29.99 secure max. We are not going to pay the $29, because as soon as we finish, we're going to cancel this. We just need to pull the 3-in-1 to pull it into our system. Okay. We don't do print report right now, because we normally do that if we didn't have a workshop this afternoon. And then you're going to choose the reason why you dispute it. All this is if you would actually, we're going to actually do it tonight. But we're going to actually, you're going to do it, but I'm going to do it in the system. Okay. So let's go to the next one. We actually do a workshop with people highlighting stuff. So this says, thank you for attending. I didn't have my set your expectation. Well, let me set your expectation. I think this is my old one I sent you, Jonathan. Let me set expectations on what happens with this, because I find errors, right? Number 1, when we do the letters that we sent off today, they have 30 days to respond. We are highlighting the errors and showing them this is the error. So by law, it says it's supposed to come off immediately, right? So that's why sometimes you hear people say, oh, I took it off in 24 hours because it was an error. And so now, if for some reason anything that we dispute come back as verified, we're going to do what's called an aggressive letter. We're going to send that off. If it still remains, the third thing we do is we just send an invoice. And we just had it when people receive 15. My last person, she received $15,000. And so because it's an error, and you can get $1,000 per error. So you can take the $15, pay your credit off, or however you want to do it. But that's how it works. Okay. So that's the expectation. And in this seminar, I help you do round 1, and I teach you how to do 2 and 3. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to get you set up. If anybody is having their credit fixed tonight, you should find Philomene, and she's going to put you in the system right quick. And then we're gonna go ahead and take care of it and get you everything you need for your credit. If you just need a credit cleanup, whatever it is, okay? So we are gonna go into our TV raffle. So I just need everybody who's a guest. You can't be a PC and you can't be an affiliate. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But it's for our guests. But if you're a guest, we need your name so we can put you in the spinning wheel right quick. And then we gonna see you. Why your face looking like that? Because you're affiliate. You're a PC. You finna go for that TV? Ah. Okay, y'all, so we're gonna take that break, and then once we take that break, we're gonna have y'all move around a little bit, right? We're gonna have y'all move around a little bit, get y'all situated, and then we're gonna have Mr. DC Eastman come up. You guys, I'm gonna tell you, this is the information that you don't wanna miss. I hate to drop numbers because we on cameras, but listen, let me say apples, okay? We make good apples every day, good apples. And if you want to know how to, what we call is our retirement recovery program, because there's a lot of people that's been taken advantage of, whether it's in the crypto market, trading market, whether you just believe somebody was going to do something that they didn't. And so we show you how to, one, get the education. We show you, two, not only to get the education, but we can do it for you. So you don't have to send your money to anybody. You can do it yourself. You hold your money and you just come in and yeah. And then the other part is done for you. If you're somebody that you just say, okay, I want to do it. It is a 15-month lock-in, but he'll explain that to you. But when your 15-month is unlocked, baby, oh baby, all right. So we want to make sure you guys get that information, because when I tell you, it's the type of information that people do not share with you, okay? And I often tell people, because I've been a millionaire, I can show you how to get to millionaire status. I've not been a billionaire, and so that's why Mr. Eastman was brought on deck. So you don't have to stop dreaming. You can dream as far as you want to. One thing I can tell you guys is we stopped dreaming. When we was a kid and somebody asked us what we wanted to be, baby, we was rolling it out. I want to be a doctor, an astronaut. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But life happened. And when life happened, we stopped dreaming. But I came here today to tell you that you don't have to stop dreaming, and that the devil is a lie. He does not have the keys to your destiny. You have them, and you can be whatever it is that you want to be. Because I'm going to tell you, we've been in a car a long time. The first trip was 22 hours, and the second trip was 12 hours. So I need y'all to get this message in your spirit that this will stop today, and that your overflow is here. It's not there. It's not there. It's already with you. That you have the power for overflow and increase inside of you. And we will not let anybody win at the wealth game unless we win, okay? So we're all in here winners. And so for all my winners, I need y'all to say, we win. Y'all ain't saying that's what I'm talking about. Now, you was up here giving that testimony. I believe you because we bought it from here. Come on, Miss, help him out. They're gonna put us out because Jonathan already told me we too loud. Okay, so she's gonna, Philomene's gonna get you in the system. If you need to get in the system, we're gonna take a few minute break, and then we're gonna come back and get y'all this valuable information. We want y'all to move around, jiggle a little bit, get some food, get you some micro daily to help you out and everything. And Jonathan gonna get us some music and hope it's like some old people music that Bernard was playing. Jonathan might have it. Jonathan, she need a Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We got to get some food. Y'all better eat this food.
Okay,
There's a lot of food. Sam's Club. Y'all better.
Is this Hilton?
Yeah. Don't worry.
She got it. Oh, she's got it.
Put me on pressure. Yeah.
No. Two different networks. Which network did you choose? Yeah, forget it. You want to go back up again, choose the network again? And choose Hilton Honor.
No, that ain't it. That's not something that you want to put around somebody in the shower. It's right. I did
I know, I'm schooling. Yeah. I'm not waiting to be right. Iris, your story was amazing again. Your story was amazing again. Oh, just awesome.
I'm trying to.
Wait, so.
I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna go area. We gotta take these names out.
I know.
Okay, Deep, thank you.
Okay, so who's first one?
Right here. Renee.
Ask me that.
Hang on 1 second.
R-E-N-E-N.
How you spell it?
R-E-N-E-E.
R-E-N-E-G.
Okay, next person is Sandra, S-A-N. R-A. I got a whole bunch of them somewhere.
Right?
Yeah, it just says so you can record.
Hercules, Hercules, what are you doing there?
There's a flight we show on TV.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna go live.
There it is.
Hold on, y'all.
There it is.
I don't even know if I'm on, not on Wi-Fi. Can I get on Wi-Fi?
You can't put your phone number into that last name.
No,
Phone number 5.
or enter in promotional code.
So it's an auto.
Yeah, which one of y'all feeling in y'all spirit? Look, she over there. Yeah, when she walked up here, what's your name?
Renee.
Renee, when Renee walked up, she was like, don't even nobody else name because it's easy, man. She won't want me. She ain't changed words with me. You ain't got to put nobody else in there. So y'all ready? Y'all come up to a closer. We trying to have us a little bit of recording. Right here. Y'all, listen, y'all get it to the house because your car big enough to take you. All right, so y'all put it off. Just that we want to get out, okay? Okay. All right, we heard y'all right going around in the city, right? So we got y'all turn. So we're gonna spin it. Come on down there. That's it. Let me say that right. Then we'll go Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for being there, for honoring. Thank you for me to be right. I'm telling you that I didn't know you wasn't a man in the hospital. I was in there with and you helped them, baby. And this is my new sister. Thank you, Renee. We're gonna give you a hug. Look, even though this was a good prize that she can go eat, because that's when you get disappointed, the best thing to do is eat. So you don't want to go get something in the So we got one.
It's the last one. It's the last one.
Who gave the last one? It's 4 people. Well, you got 2 of them, husband and wife up there, so one of them got to get it.
Because my brother-in-law rather have this than the TV. My brother-in-law would rather have it. He's gonna have a TV. Or something else.
We gonna let y'all go around there. We appreciate you for coming out, babies. We thank you for your spirit of hospitality. Listen, we're super excited, y'all. We have to invite people to 6 o'clock. But listen, we are to hear the most important part of this presentation. And the most important presentation is how you can save, grow, and protect your money. What did I say? How you can save, grow, and protect your money. Okay? So now, without further ado, y'all, let me give him a good introduction. I'm trying to get a raise. So you guys, listen, Robin, she's on the camera right here. Robin, wave your hand again. This is Robin. She's an admin over the CSA Academy. So if you know anything to ask after this presentation, you will see her after this presentation. But this is something that we doing two things. So we have FIT, and you know that saw that on there. That's the fundamentals investing in transformation. The transformation is our beautiful micronutrients. You guys, word. Listen, hold on. Let me take my jacket off. Listen. They don't want me to say this. I know they don't, but they gonna say, I know she didn't. But listen, that digestive boost. Look how they look at that. Listen, that digestive boost work, okay? Listen. We all get full of something sometimes, and we need to release it in the name of Jesus. We need to release it. So this digestive boost worked out. If you're trying to, well, I'm gonna tell you what it did for me, okay? Because I had trouble in that area, and it's something we need to talk about. If I say, I know she's gonna give a testimony. Yes, I am. So digestive boost, y'all, it's amazing, right? And so I have problem digesting my food because I'm an A positive. And what that means is I have a low stomach acid. If you're an A positive and you wonder why you have issue with food because you have low stomach acid. So that means if you eat heavy meats like beef, or I don't eat pork, but if you eat pork, beef, anything that's not poultry, it's hard in your system. Poultry may make you a little tired, but beef and stuff is hard because it doesn't digest like everybody else. So listen, I couldn't go to the bathroom for a whole week. And can you imagine that? Skin messed up, everything, because listen, but now y'all, Micro Daily, the probiotic, which is like your gut health, and also my digestive boost. So I don't care what nobody said, that thing worked, honey. It worked. Now it's not like it's gonna have you like going like a laxative and that you can't control it. But baby, it worked. That's all I'm gonna say. So if you want to get you a flat belly, okay, y'all, I'm supposed to say, we don't make no medical claims, but the testimonies and the results cannot be denied because I got listen. Yes, I used to do this, but they don't do this. Stop. Show y'all my picture before we leave here. I was rolling over the stomach, but now I can go damn. I ain't jealous of nobody no more. I used to see people with flat stomach, I'm like, she thinks she all that. So anyway, now I just want to stop. But anyway, so I'm going to bring up Mr. DC Eastman, guys. This is my mentor. I always have to be my daddy friend. When he first took me on a tour 6 years ago, we did a freedom tour. And on that tour, guys, let me tell you, he went to see my dad. You would think we was getting married. He went to see my daddy. I'm a daddy's girl, and my daddy's a pastor. He don't play by me. So when he said, we're going to go to a little town that he ain't never heard before, like that's almost like Albany. I was like, well, but this place where I live is called Lombard, North Carolina. It's really small. So when we tell people about it, we got a line, say we stay in Fayetteville, because they know Fayetteville because of the military base, but they have no idea what Lombard is. So he traveled there to meet my dad. We traveled the world. We helped a lot of people, and we did some great things together. And so, guys, I just want to let you know that he's a person that I trust him and that he believes in people. He believes when you don't believe. And that's the one thing that drew me to him, because we used to go around saving churches. That's what we did. Churches take a loan from the government and they can't pay the loan back. And now the government's trying to come in and foreclose on the church. And most of the time those churches are in the Black minority communities. And so what did he do? He went in, he taught some children how to call a trade. So the children were able to get the money for the church. We give away 3, 4 TVs, whatever we have, but we can't take them back on the plane. And we raffle them off. And that's how we became friends, is because one, he came into a company that I was in, and he got always like, I just need the best. And so they said me only because I serve. When you serve, people just like, oh, it's her. They didn't know what he wanted. So they just like, oh, it's her. And so I worked with him for a lot of months, and that we made a lot of money in that company. I made a lot of money. I was a top earner in that company. And I also was one of the founders of that company. But what happened was he had no idea that all the work that I was doing day and night, that I wasn't getting paid. And when he found out I was getting paid, honey, that white man turned black, girl. He was like, I need to talk to this one, I need to talk to this one. I just really appreciate his friendship, his loyalty, and I will travel the world anywhere with him and also take my 15-year-old child anywhere. He's a good mentor. He's a good father figure. He's good at finances. And honey, baby, I barely could do math, honey. But now, they make calculators. So with that being said, I just want to bring him up. He is a true friend indeed. Mr. DC Eastman, and the DC stands for Donald Clint. Yeah.
He thought I was gonna say Jonathan. Okay, what happened?
One little statement that wants to be made, and
Okay,
Alfreda had a statement Dolores is gonna read.
okay. Okay.
It's for you and for Mr. Eastman.
Come on. Come on. It's fine.
All the orders.
Come on.
Okay. She says, Nigel and Mr. Eastman, I want to send this sincere thanks to you for allowing me to travel with you for 5 days. Thank you for your kindness. You showed to me it will be never forgotten. All of the knowledge and determination to take this business to the top. Every life you have touched is better for you. Stay safe, stay strong, stay true to this journey. Everyone in front of you, I'm sure, feels like I do. Thank you.
Oh, that's from our freelance. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you.
I can say that I agree with that. So, Mr. Eastman, please continue.
Fantastic. You can be the US that part. You can do a browser with that.
You want to go here?
I'll pass it over here. I don't know if I need a microphone. I'll use it so it makes sure it goes out there and gets recorded. And if I'm sitting down, you might want to lower the camera. Whatever works best.
Alrighty. Woo woo.
All right. So where to begin in my journey? I gave a little bit of my testimony. I try to do that everywhere I go as to where I got my start. And I could not have planned the life that I have. I don't think things happen by coincidence. I think they happen by being God ordained. I think that they are serendipitous, that puts the people that you need in the room when you need that to happen. So I grew up on a pig farm in South Kansas. I was
In
poor.
2000.
My family was poor. And I knew at a young age, I didn't want to stay on that pig farm. I wanted to get out of Kansas. Well, as you can imagine, what's that show about somebody in Kansas that wants to get out of Kansas, somewhere over the rainbow? And we watched The Wizard of Oz, The Wizard of Oz. And I found myself a few years later after that, doing a documentary on something that I learned at a university level, the word allegory. And that is just simply a modern day parable. And the Wizard of Oz is actually a financial allegory. And we learned this at a university level. So we did a documentary. You can go and look on YouTube. And there is The Secret of Oz by Bill Still. And it happened at a point in my life I couldn't be on camera. I was not allowed a microphone. I was under a gag order for over 20 years working for the US intelligence community. So they snagged me up and I was under a gag order, but I did learn how money worked. And now that whether it's the best thing or the worst thing, you take somebody that's been on a gag order for 20 years, remove the gag order, put me back out into society and hand me a microphone. That could be a dangerous thing, right? Because to tell somebody like myself, I've got the gift of gab and I'm not afraid to talk about things. Now, there are still things I can't talk about that would still be considered classified, and we won't go there. But there are some things that have been declassified over the last 20 years that we can go there. So my agency was just across the Potomac River in a place you would know as Langley. So that I'll let you put your alphabet agencies together. That will tell you, most of you, where I came from. Now, I only spent 1 week on campus. I was the fat kid that flunked out. Okay. But I didn't. They put me underground. So I spent most of the next 20 years not on the mountain, but in the mountain. So we have something known as a dome. That is a deep underground military base, a dome. And that's where my office was. So I say the reason I'm so white is I didn't see the sun for 20 years. They literally put me, they didn't chain me to the desk, but they might as well have, because I couldn't talk about the things I was working on. So if you ever watch something like Air America, where we had a base that we didn't officially have, with personnel running around and planes running around, an entire military base that was not funded by Congress. There's a second set of books that's known as the Congressional Discretionary Book. And money would go into it like a black hole, and it would disappear. Now, every one of you, I would guess, was issued, if you were born in the United States or naturalized to the United States, you were given a Social Security card. And they teach you to memorize the number on the front of that card. Does anybody have a physical copy of their Social Security card? If you flip it over, I'm interested in the number on the back. And this may not be the first group you've ever heard about that Treasury Direct number. Begins with the letter A through L. It's either in blue print or it's in red print. And the A through L stands for which of the Federal Reserve branches you were born into. Okay? You are government property as far as they are concerned. So your bond right there, what is that, red or blue?
Red.
Does it have a letter that starts with A through L?
E.
I'm pretty sure at some point I traded your bond.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And
like my
they
check.
didn't send you the royalty fees, I'm pretty sure. So when you started, and I'm not going to give away your age, but I'll let you do some quick math. You started, you were worth $1 million to the Queen. Okay. And every 10 years, that $1 million doubles. So the 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16. If I'm getting about 40, 50 years old, you're worth at least $16 million. And again, you didn't get the royalty fee.
10 more years.
10 more years, 32. So we've already got million. Every one of you, if you're older than 1 and you're in this room, is worth, I'm sitting in front of a group of millionaires. You just haven't been given the control of
My own money.
Your money. Now, when Social Security came out, it was called social insurance. And the reason it came out as part of the New Deal, right, that FDR put into place, was to give something to the women and the survivors of the men that were going off to war, to make sure that they didn't have any insurance need, social insurance. We didn't let many women in the military at that point. They were the ones staying at home, having the babies and taking care of our kids, our family. That's what it was put in place for. The return on your money was supposed to be being distributed to you. Just like you didn't get the phone call, well, you didn't get the Christmas check or year-end bonus. And so my job was to, in the second set of books, trade your money and let them afford to do things with that money. So they would tell you that they were buying a $900 hammer or a $1,200 toilet seat. Now, we know good and well that those things didn't cost that, but they had to zero the books out. My yearly budget was $85 billion, and my job was to quadruple it. And whether I did or did not, next year, I was going to get another $85 billion to fund every Black Ops project worldwide for 20 years came across my desk to fund it. Now, what does that have to do, as my granddaddy would say, with the price of tea in China? Actually, everything. Everything. The price of tea in China is a commodity. And once that our currency came off the gold standard temporarily in 1971, I'm sure glad my mama didn't ever put me in timeout temporarily for 50 years plus, right? So that was the intention, to come off the gold standard. Here's the depressing part. Anybody ever hear of the person named Ron Paul? Ron Paul ran as the third ticket in 2008. He is a school of the Austrian School of Economics. They think different than we do. And he had a joint session between the congressmen and the senators, 635 lawmakers. It's not all that long ago that Ron Paul did this. And he was asking them if they knew what the currency was backed by. 635 people. 95% of them didn't know we were not on the gold standard anymore. These are the people that are making decisions with your money on how we're going to run the country. And they looked at each other and they said something very important. Then pray do tell, what is our currency backed by? The full faith and credit of the United States of America, that has actually been downgraded 2 times over the last 10 years. We are no longer AAA rated. We've been downgraded because of the poor job that is being done on the management of those finances. Now, this is big numbers. I wanted to bring this up because this is usdebtclock.org. And if we hover our mouse up where it says usdebtclock.org, it highlights, tells where the source of that information came from, where did that number come from, and tells us a little bit about that number. The US national debt over here, that is $37 trillion. So if I go down over the $37 trillion, I want everybody to notice that it is 333 in the million spot. So as I keep talking, I want you to recognize, by the time I'm done talking, how many millions we've racked up just in the short time I'm going to be talking to you. Now, this is big money. The bigger problem is just on the bottom of the screen. Can we scroll up just a little bit? It says currency and credit derivatives there in green at the bottom of the chart there. Right there. Now, as that clears out, can you hover over that number? What that is it says currency and credit derivatives. That's just a big word, derivative. The base of that word is to derive. So it derives its value from something else. That is the debt. That's 727 trillion, M1, M2, and M3. It doesn't show you all of them. That's 1/3 of the actual debt. So they had to create a new word called quadrillion, meaning it would be 1,800 with 12 zeros after it. That's how many trillions. 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. 1 billion is 1,000 million. Now, what does that have to do? Getting back to where we're at. There are individuals that will talk about the Treasury Direct Account. Has anybody ever heard of anybody talking about that number on the back of your Social Security card, or that you are a bond, or that bond is traded, and that there's ways to capitalize on it and fill out certain UCC forms, UCC 1? My telling you this is there is a way to do that. But if you mess up anywhere between A to Z, you don't dot the right I's, you don't cross the right T's, you're going to prison. They don't want you taking that money. They've kind of gotten used to keeping your money. So what I'm going to show you today is not that money. That money does exist, but let's just leave it with them. They're already confused about their money anyway. All right. So let's not bother them with their part. I'm going to talk to you about something that's very accessible. She talked about the fact that we gave away 156 TVs the last time we went on tour. Why? Do I think that more people should spend more time in front of their TV? No, I think it actually dumbs you down, right? We enjoy them, sure, pop popcorn, spend some family time together, and watch a good program. They're harder to find in today's world than when I was growing up, to find just a good family type show that you could watch. But let's say that you use it for that capacity. What I did is I would usually fly in, myself and my team, while we were on tour, and we would go to Best Buy. Anybody ever been to Best Buy? They got a group of techs. What do they call that group of techs?
Geek Squad.
The Geek Squad. Okay. I'm not very geeky. I don't understand how to do all that stuff. As you can see, I don't even know how to click the mouse, right? Maybe not quite that bad. But so I would go in and I would buy 3 TVs. I could have all the cords. I'd say, who's the best people in your Geek Squad? And I'd say, if you will come to my event, I'll pay you overtime. And you can sit in back, take all the notes you want. But if anything happens to make my system go down while we're giving a presentation, I want you to fix it. And then we couldn't take the TVs home with us. So we made it a part of working with youth groups. Okay. I have 8 kids and 17 grandkids. So when we would go to a small town, we were the youth group. In essence, might be one of the preacher's kids, right? PK, the preacher's kid that was told, you got to go, you got to go. And then so they're there, my kids are there. And when we would start, we had a rule, one rule. You can invite any of your friends for pizza after service, but we take roll call before service. So they had to come to service. We would take the count because we had to call the pizza place and say, we're bringing 500 people to pizza in an hour. So they had to call in extra help. And we ended up taking on 2 or 3 pizza places. We would start with simply about 12 people in the youth group. But because of what we were teaching, most of our churches in today's world, would you agree? Most of our church buildings are already wound for sound. They've got audio, they've got video, they've got the overhead so we can all see the lyrics to the hymns and we sing along, or performance or whatever's happening up here. And so the building was being used in most cases less than 30% of the time. I didn't want to create an extra expense when I came to town. I wanted to create and leave a legacy when we came to town. So these kids that were coming in, yes, we're feeding this, but we're feeding this first. So my class is called Mindset and Money. Mindset and Money, because what you'll find is money is a byproduct of your mindset. You've got to get the mind right. And many of us are living on half truths, right? Money is the root of all evil. Many of you are already saying, that you didn't say the whole thing, right? It's that love of that money, right? That do you think I'm made of money? Do you think that there's a money tree in the backyard? All these negative things that we would say about money, negative things. And so we wanted to start changing the way people thought about money. If money is the biggest problem we have, we don't have a problem. I participate in a market that is $7.5 trillion per day changes hands. 7.5 trillion per day. And that's the currency arena. And so I will set up my screens I've got an app, I've got a couple of indicators, and I usually say, okay, Sunday is family day. So the kids say, hey, can I bring my dad? Yeah, we'd love to meet him. We haven't seen him all year long. Bring him, you know? And so we were starting to see parents that had never come to the church building, but they were coming. All of a sudden, math was fun because it had a dollar symbol in the front of it. Those kids were motivated, right? Decide, tap him on the shoulder. We were talking about what's the name of that little console that you use? Switch?
Yeah.
So we were debating a Switch, and I was asking him if he's going to get the new Switch 3. Of course, he's correcting me. There is no Switch 3 yet. How would I know this? Okay. We were talking about Pokemon. Okay. I don't know what a Pokemon, I've never been poked in the face by a Pokemon. I don't know what that is. Okay. And we were talking about a Generation 9. So imagine when the Generation 12 comes out and you're playing it on Switch 3. He says, neither one of those has happened yet. All right. So up here, my admin up here, Miss Robin, that does the school, the academy side of things, your son participates in something called Twitch. I know if I got in the front row and I started to twitch, my mama would get on me. Okay. Sit still, boy, you know. And so it's something different than that. It's for coding and programming and performing, that type of thing. And so the young minds are like a sponge. Would we agree? Why are we suggested to learn a language when we're young? Second language. Did anybody have to tell you your first language? Okay, we're going to learn how to speak English. No, you just observed it. And all of a sudden you started using it and you started getting corrected like ain't a word. Okay. Ain't a word. Okay. And so we started learning these rules of English. English, as I'm told, is one of the more difficult languages to learn because of all of its rules and its exceptions and all the things going on. I've learned some Spanish, and I'm told, that sounds a whole lot like the word in French. I learned some of this. Well, that sounds like the word in Swahili. And I'll tell you right now, in whatever, I went to Togo on a mission trip, and whatever I said, it was a guttural language. And if you just emphasized the wrong symbol, you said something different. And I thought I was being like, I was expressing, I was learning, and I asked them to pass what I thought were the potatoes. And everybody in the tribe is laughing at me. And I was told later by my interpreter, you said pass the foreskins. That's not what I meant to say. I don't need any of those. Okay. And so I learned from that point forward, everywhere I went, I took an interpreter, a UN interpreter. So I didn't create some kind of an international incident. Okay. And so we started making money fun using an app on a phone. So I had my Sunday school group. I said, here is the list of supplies I need you to bring to family day. It's going to be for you. It's going to be for all your siblings, your mother, your father, your grandparents, whoever. You can bring them. It's going to be family day. I said, we need a 2-liter bottle of something. Pick your favorite soda and bring it. 2 liters. You're going to need, everybody know what a 3-ring binder is. So they make a ruler that goes in the 3-ring binder. How many holes does the ruler have in it? The question is almost like the answers provided in the question. It goes in a 3-ring binder. So it's got 3 holes in it, right? So it can go in the 3-ring binder. Okay, so a 2-liter bottle, a ruler that has 3 holes in it, a package of paper plates, and go back to the time you were going to school for the first time, preschool, kindergarten, and they were giving you a box of Crayola crayons. How many were in that first smallest box of crayons? 8. There were 8. That's good. All right, and bring a number 2 pencil. All right, so they've got their list of supplies. And I said, we don't need like 40 2-liter bottles of pop, right? We broke into we numbered off and we had like groups of 10. And so this was an exercise around the big round tables. where we all got together. And I said, okay, we're going to learn something, and then we're going to have some food, and then we're going to do some trading. Okay. So, okay. Does everybody know how to write a plus sign? Put it with your two hands, write a plus sign. Okay. Now, if I put a multiplication and turn the plate, then I cut the 4 pieces in half. How many pieces do I got? 8, right? 4 times 2, 8. I've got 8. How many crayons do I have? 8. I've got my ruler. I've got my paper plate. I want you to take the paper plate, all the kids, take the paper plate, put the plus sign, put the multiplication sign, using your ruler and your number 2. Then I want you to color each section of the plate a different color. And we color-coded the 8 main currencies of the world. Now, again, listen, because the answer is contained in the question. Where do you think they use the New Zealand dollar? In New Zealand. Where do you think they use the Australian dollar? In Australia. Where do you think they use the Japanese yen? In Japan. And then there's the Swiss franc is used in Switzerland, right? So then there is the euro. It's our youngest currency out of the 8, because that was a social experiment. Coming into the early part of 1999, 2000, we were given the euro. Many countries abandoned their currency, with the exception of the Swiss franc and the Great Britain pound, or British pound sterling. Okay. What is sterling? Silver. We think of that as silver. So they're part of the European bloc, but they said, we're going to keep our own currency. We're not going to use the euro. So there's the Swiss franc, the euro, and the Great Britain pound. There's the Canadian dollar, which is used where? Canada, and the US dollar, which is used where? There you go, United States. And which one is the world reserve currency? The US dollar. There you go. And so these are the 8 primary currencies of the world. We use a system that we call CSA. CSA stands for Comparative Strength Analysis. So we've got the paper plates. We've got the 8 sections. They're all colored a different color. I put on the chalkboard, I put the color, and I put the name of the currency that corresponds with that color. And now we're going to do a little exercise. So I talked about my grandson. Young man in the back of the room, how old are you? You back there in the corner. How old are you? Say again?
12.
I heard 12. The youngest person I've ever taught how to trade currencies is 9. We called her Boo. I don't even know what her name was. We called her Boo. And her job was, she was kind of like yourself. She was a little vertically challenged compared to me. I'm 6'4". I'm going to guess you're something less than 6'4". If you're not, the talent scouts are going to be looking for you in the NBA. Okay? So that is, I said, we're going to give you a chair. I'm going to show you the app. And when it hits a certain level, I just want you to yell out to the rest of us, Boo. So she became known as Boo. And her sister won a TV on the raffle, because again, we're not taking back on the play with us. So what is this plate all about? The app, we went into the Cheesecake Factory. Anybody ever go into a Cheesecake Factory? What are they known for at the Cheesecake Factory? Cheesecake. And it is a small piece of cheesecake?
No.
No, an unhealthy sized piece of cheesecake. Okay. So I went in there with my grandson and I said, okay, we're going to pretend that today that the person that's cutting the cheesecake, he's new. And so he got off a little bit with his knife, and I've got some very big pieces and I got some very small pieces. Okay. This is important. If I could only pick one, would I pick the big piece or the small piece? My grandson, he said, you'd buy the whole pie. Well, that wasn't an option, but yes, you are correct. And so I would buy the big slice. That's all you need to know on my app. You buy the big slice, you sell the small slice. It's measuring the strength of the currency at that very dynamic point in time. And then we put it on a scale. We buy the big piece, we sell the small piece. So I'll give you a couple of examples. A currency pairing might be something like the euro, Japanese yen. And at this particular time, the euro might be strong and the Japanese yen might be weak. So we think of the one that is strong as the big piece. Which one do we buy?
Big piece.
The big piece. Which one do we sell? Small piece. So in currency trading, we would go long. We call the buying that we do of the big piece. We would go long on the euro Japanese yen. And then I would put it up on a chart. So we've got a class, and in our class, there's a picture of the old app right here. Now, for those observing, even if you don't know that the pink is the color coding for the Australian dollar, that says AUD. So it's color coded pink. And that's what Boop said, buy pink. That particular time we were trading. She doesn't know any more about how to walk up and point at Australian on a world map. She didn't know where Australia was. She didn't know that they used an Australian dollar there. She didn't understand the economic impact of what she was saying. But she said, buy pink. In this case, you would buy pink, sell green. The big hand, just like on the old analog clock, I had to teach the kids what an analog clock was. Like, what's that mean? Because we're all digital in today's world, right? The big hand is like the minute hand on your old analog clock. The small hand is like the hour hand on your analog clock. And so you buy the big piece, the big hand, sell the small hand, and this app would dynamically change the slice size of the pie at any given minute, any given second throughout the day. And so this app literally created millionaires because it was that simple. She would say, okay, buy pink. So we went long the Australian USD. And her job is when it crossed an alert line, her job was to yell out to the crowd, boop. That meant it hit its alert level. And so in the time that we were there, about a 20-minute presentation, we made $10,000, $11,000 on Australian USD. How much does it take to make 10,000 on something like that? Well, it was on a $100,000 account. So if you could make 10% intraday, is that a good return?
Yes.
Phenomenal. That's a phenomenal return. So Einstein says that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So we're not just adding, we're multiplying, and then we're getting exponential growth. So what we do is we teach people in the process of how to find a trade in under 90 seconds. We teach people how to analyze a trade in under 90 seconds. We teach people how to get in and out of trades within 5 to 15 minutes. And then we use proprietary indicators and we use proprietary, this is the chart that the app was based on, is called currency strength lines or the Christmas tree, because it's different colors and it lights up. And so we use these indicators. Where do we use these indicators? Well, comparative strength analysis inside the academy. And many individuals are interested in learning how to do this for themselves. So we call that the do-it-yourself bunch. Okay. The other way that we teach it is the done for you. And some people want to be both. I eventually would like to learn how to do this for myself. Or I've got a really sharp grandson or son. I would like him how to learn how to do this. And I'll put some of the money in. Right? Now, this is how I used to start my presentations pre-pandemic. You remember way back pre-pandemic. I remember the pandemic because we, in my agency, were talking about COVID-19 in the year 2012 by name. So some might call it a pandemic, some might call it a plandemic. Now, I'm not here to create any kind of a conspiracy theory, and I'm not here to give any classified information. But when they start forcing people to sign waivers before you get a shot that hasn't been tested, that might be a big warning sign.
Yeah.
Right? So what I found out is there's a lot of people that lost a lot of money because they were scammed in the area of Forex. We don't even call what I do Forex trading because it's not the industry is broke. The industry isn't broke. It's been misrepresented and people have been lied to. So now, rather than come in and start talking about where you could start a conversation pre-pandemic, do you know why we had cryptocurrency come out in 2008, 2009? Has anybody ever heard of cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
Okay. A digital asset. We now refer to what happened in 2008 as the Great Financial Crisis, where a lot of people got pulled into foreclosures, illegal foreclosures. A lot of people were taken advantage of by the very agencies that were supposed to be put in place with the fiduciary responsibility of protecting them. So we started going around and working on restoration of wealth or retirement accounts. So if our currency is backed by the full faith and credit of the United States, there were a lot of people that were not trusting the United States much after 2008 and what they got put into. Now, add on to that the pandemic. That is, if you were not, anybody in here military trained? Anybody military trained? No? Okay. So this was the biggest social experiment, PSYOP training that the global markets have ever seen. In the military, we're taught how to deal with things like this. It's psychological warfare. And so we didn't know whether we were supposed to mask up. We didn't know whether we were supposed to get the vaccine or not. If so, which one? Follow the science. Okay, which science? Some are saying do it, some are saying don't. Okay, so which one? Okay. And so people were literally confused. I was disinvited from the Thanksgiving dinner because the elderly in my family didn't want something coming into their house that they were already. Imagine how I look right now. Am I the picture of health? If pandemic is going to get the unhealthy, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here, right? So I'm using a therapeutic dose. And for many will remember when Trump got up and said, I didn't get the vaccine, I took a therapeutic dose. Okay. Pray tell, of what? And then we started hearing things about ivermectin, quinine, methylene blue, things that I would find in my go bag. If I was going somewhere in the world, I had 4 things in my go bag: ivermectin, methylene blue, quinine, and another substance. So the formulations that we talk about, these were given, not this particular formulation, but these were given to special ops units to make sure that they could withstand certain things globally. So now we're talking about restoration of health and restoration of wealth. Why should you put any faith in what I have to tell you? If you've been scammed by the last 3 people that said they had a good thing for you, they said they had a good thing for your congregation, they said they had a good thing for your community, and you haven't seen them or that money since. So I decided instead of getting up here and telling you about these big numbers up here, maybe it would be a good time to do a retirement recovery program. Or when the restoration team comes to town, then I can send you to Coach Naja back there, and she can make sure that one, the thing I learned about finances is if you wake up and find out that you're in the hole, quit digging. It's just going to get deeper, right? If you're trying to keep your head above water, don't keep digging, right? Let's get you back on a solid foundation. I had an 840 credit score, but because somebody had stole my identity, I paid cash for everything. I had no idea. I didn't need credit. I didn't think I needed credit. And I got denied. And I'm thinking, what? I got an 840 credit score. What do you mean I got denied? Because somebody put a nasty comment because of an identity theft scenario. And those take a little while to get out of, right? To reverse the negative things that were simply being placed on my credit file. So what we do is we get people back to a solid foundation. Then we build for them a structure that stands the test of time. Now, we talked about how to make money, where to store money, and how to grow money. Has anybody ever heard of a network marketing company? Many network marketing companies that have come out there. Anybody ever hear the name Dexter Yeager? Years ago, if you remember Amway, he changed the future for network marketing, and the original 9 companies of the American Way company, known as Amway, were using methods to get the products out there in front of people. And Dexter came along and created systems by creating systems. So in doing that, he called me on, anybody ever hear of Robert Kiyosaki? Did you know that Robert Kiyosaki couldn't get his book published? So he decided to self-publish. So the original Rich Dad Poor Dad, 1,000 copies that he self-published and put them in his friend's gas store, his convenience store, the gas store. I don't normally go to the gas store to find a good book, okay? And one of Dexter's diamonds was coming through on the way back from a rally and saw this book. And well, that's an interesting concept. So he bought the 5 copies of the book. Went back home, read it literally on the drive back home. He wasn't doing all the driving, hopefully. The drive back home, he read this book. He called up Dexter and he says, we need to get this guy on our team. This is a brilliant book talking about financial literacy. So they called him up, Robert Kiyosaki, and they said, is this Robert Kiyosaki? Well, yes, it is. And then he says, well, this is Rob, and you don't know me, but I actually came across your book. And my boss would like to buy some more copies of your book to give to his leader team. And he says, okay, well, how many would you like me to send you? He says, how many do you got? He says, how many did you buy? 5. I've got 995 left then. Okay. So he bought all 1,000 copies and he distributed to all Dexter's diamonds, double diamonds, triple diamonds, and crown ambassadors. That's how Robert Kiyosaki got his start. Now we come out with Cash Flow Quadrant and Rich Dad's Guide to Investing and all of his mastermind team and all those individuals. And so I helped Robert and Kim Kiyosaki after they got out of their car. Now they're making some good money, right? And they created a cash flow board game, right? So Cash Flow 101. Cash Flow 202 is learning the markets. And I consulted on the board game add-on for individuals that want to learn financial literacy. Financial literacy is just simple things that are done in a methodical way, again and again and again. So the reason that we've teamed up with the association, the reason that we're coming in and we're doing health and wealth restoration is I haven't met anybody that's over 30 years old that doesn't have a health and a wealth concern. Both. Now, what we learned in the PSYOP of 9/11 is something had to be created that was literally so catastrophic to get people to take their eyes off their wealth and put it on their health. Because something happened in September of 2019. Most will never read about it. I know about it because of the circles that I'm in. And that is there's something known as a stress test that they do on a bank. I had a stress test when they put me on the treadmill and intentionally kept turning up the speed until I slapped them upside the head, told me to quit, right? And so the stress test, the 10 largest banks in the world in September, which is the end of the year fiscally, October 1st starts the new fiscal year for the United States government. October 1st starts 2026 fiscal year for our US government, which is nothing more than the United States of America Incorporated. Their stock is the US dollar. And you are what they would call chattel. Every one of you, your all cap name on your credit card, your all cap name on your bill, your all cap on any legal piece of paper, is they can't interact with you as a living, breathing being. They have to make you a corporation. You remember when I talked about the secret of Oz? Where's the only place that we see the word Oz? Oz. It's an abbreviation for what? An ounce of precious metals. What is a yellow gold brick? Follow the yellow brick road. A gold brick block, 101 troy ounces. That's what the future contract is based on. 10 man tax identification number. In a legal argument, the straw man is the scapegoat. The straw man is a legal fiction that we're blaming it on. The entire Wizard of Oz is a financial allegory that we had put in front of us since 1904. And two people were adamant we would not have a nation's bank. The Federal Reserve was not the first time they attempted to give us a nation's bank. And two people on the Titanic would have voted it down. But JP Morgan and his company that built the Titanic invited them to the captain's table, April 15 of 1911 is when the Titanic went down. What happens every April 15th? The collection arm for the Federal Reserve. Do any of you work inside the government? Were any of you born in Washington, D.C.? I got one hand, so you put your hand down. Okay. If you were not born inside of that 10-mile square, you were not born in the United States. You're a foreign national, actually. If you were not born in the 10-mile square known as Washington, D.C., you were not born in the United States. You are a foreign national to that 10-mile square. It is a city-state. There are 3 of them in the world. You would know one of them as the Vatican. And you would know one of them as Malta. And if you don't know the third one, that's okay. Most people don't. I'm part of that order. And so these are the 3 places in the world that finances are decided. The largest bank in the world is not the World Bank. It's the Vatican Bank. And the interest that's collected, the last time the Pope came to the United States, that wasn't just to ride around in the Pope mobile and wave at people. He was coming to pick up his money. He was coming to pick up his money. And so there's a lot of things out there that we put out to people. We call them false flags in the military. And that's when we get to pointing up at something where if I sit here and point up, and then Jonathan comes over here and starts pointing up with me, eventually, if we stand here long enough, people are going to start gathering around, looking, well, this guy's looking at me, you know? And when they're trying to get you to look over here, the real deal's going on over here. Okay? When I've got you looking up in the air at Twin Towers, it's not the Twin Towers, it's building number 7. So, again, I'm not here to create a conspiracy. I said many years ago, I quit being a conspiracy theorist. I am a conspiracy therapist. To let you know you're not crazy. You're not alone. You have been being scammed. But we're going to change the word scam to an acronym. You are still confused about money. And I am here to remove some of that confusion. And we happen to be talking about engaged products. That's a proper noun. It's the name of a company, engaged. I learned engage was a verb. I go out and I engage with people. And I'm creating an engagement specialist team. That's all we do. We're walking, talking good things. And if you've heard any of our presentations, something like text your way to diamond. Imagine if you could just simply use your phone to pass on your business card and an embedded video. I want to be 3 clicks away from being in business with people. I want to be 3 clicks away from making $100,000 a day on the market. You have to start somewhere. For most people, $100 a day on the market for 15 minutes of work wouldn't be a bad part-time income. That's a raise of $25,000 a year for every 100 that you can make per day. Some people say, put me down for 5. I'll take 500. I think you were talking about 1,000 a day, what that would do to make a difference in a person's life. There are 250 trading days in a year if you don't include crypto and digital assets. And the thing that is unique about our company, one, I was institutionally trained. I worked for the largest hedge fund in the world. And then I went and created my own and put it in Puerto Rico for tax reasons. So if you do write things down or you go back and check your notes or your recordings later, look up Internal Revenue Code, IRC 933, which specifically exempts Puerto Rican companies from federal taxes. I'm incorporated in Wyoming. Florida's a no tax state too, aren't they?
No state tax.
No state tax. There's still 9 states that are no state tax. Wyoming is one of them, and they're very digital friendly, crypto friendly. So I'm incorporated in Wyoming, no state tax. I am growing my hedge fund in Puerto Rico, no federal tax. I have no city, state, federal, capital gains, profits. I have no taxes. None. And I'm playing by their rules. They wrote the code. Have you ever picked up a good novel, thick one? Maybe the Bible is the best-selling one. And there's like hundreds of pages. Do you start on page 1040? Why do you think they direct you to start on page 1040? We'll even give you an easy form. If I'm going to start a book and I had to memorize 167,000 pages of Internal Revenue Code. I don't expect you're going to do that, but I sure wouldn't start at page 1040. And if I'm going to talk to you about putting an estate together or creating one of those family offices that was mentioned earlier, all the wealthy families have that. And there was something that was in the memoirs. Many of you have captured memories using my family. Remember that last name, that legacy video we watched earlier? Before we had digital cameras on all of our smartphones, anybody have like a camera where you put film in it? What was the #1 film company and who made that? Do you remember? Eastman Kodak. Eastman Financial Network. We have our own bank. We have our own brokerage house. We have our own depository. We have all of our own funds. At the time, George Eastman was richer than Rockefeller. Why didn't we know that? Why didn't we know that? Because you weren't in the Eastman family. But now you can be. I'm giving all the banker secrets right here. So the Eastman National Bank, and you've never been to Eastman National Bank unless you went through Newkirk, Oklahoma. And unless you were going to Newkirk, Oklahoma, there's not very many people that have been in Newkirk, Oklahoma. Little bitty town, population 697, I think. And that's where the bank, anybody ever hear of the Oklahoma land run? Years ago, maybe studied in your history book. That's the bank that did the land bank this for the 160-acre lots of land that were given away by the U.S. government. So I grew up and I asked a very important question. I'm going to wrap up with this. That very important question was, if we own a bank, why are we broke? That seemed like a very important question. I'm 9 when I'm asking it. Anybody ever hear wealth skips a generation? That was the answer that was given. I don't know. But I was in a small little town, so we had a 4-H club. And I said, can I interview our banker? I don't see why not. So I went and interviewed the banker. And I interviewed the banker and I said, what do you do different than we're doing? If there is indeed a banker secret, what is it? He says, people don't ask questions. People don't ask questions. The reason that the Eastman Bank was no longer owned by Eastmans is a gentleman named E.B. Eastman that started the bank. In 1921, there was a pretty significant event in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Anybody be able to tell me what that was? The Tulsa Massacre, Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street. My uncle E.B. was the only bank in Oklahoma that would lend to the victims' families. He was ran out of town. His family was threatened because he was trying to do a good thing for good people. So when I got a hold of his memoirs, I bought the bank back. And I reestablished what I could of the Eastman family name. And we started putting foundations into place and funds into place to go back and simply help any individual that wanted a step in the right direction, a restoration, a movement, if you will, right? What I love about the markets is they are colorblind. I wish the rest of the world could learn that lesson. Your money's just as green as mine, okay? If you want to do something different, we will show you how. In my classes, in the academy, it's done as a do-it-yourself or a done for you at hcsAAA5steps.com. It's the number 5, hcsAAA5steps.com. And inside the academy, we'll find the trades together. We analyze the trades together. We take the trades together. Some are in as investors, clients. Some are in as students. I don't ask any questions. If you want to come in and see how we did trading your money, I trade a $1 million account right there live on the screen every time the academy's in live mode for session, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I trade the small account. The $1 million account is the small account. And then we trade a large account. And so every single day we'll make something between $2,500 and $10,000 on the small account and something between $10,000 and $100,000 on the big account.
50. So
150 the day we were in front of, it was average. So I mean, some days are a little more, some days are a little less. But even in the short time that individuals like Jonathan or Bernard or others that you might know, we're going to get a chance to meet up with Jeff Ashby and some of the ones I like touring the country. That sounded like fun to me. So we're going to meet all the different leaders. We came back from Salt Lake. We got to meet Dave. We got to meet Robin. We got to meet Blake that runs the manufacturing and fulfillment center. So we're very tight with the engagement team and things that we can do through a private membership association, because my hands are tied. The FDA didn't approve the message. So I do have to be careful with the message. I can come over into a private membership association and I'm given much more latitude as to what I can say without stepping on any toes. So whether you need help with your health or you need help with your wealth, either way, we're here. That's what the team is here for. We're on a 12 cities in 12 weeks. 12 cities in 12 weeks. We're about halfway into that. So we're planning. That's why I have my admin from the academy, Miss Robin. I have my admin on the engaged side of things. She's doing things with credit so she can get people back on a solid foundation and we can come in and work on health and wealth together. So we'll be planning where we're going next. And then at the end of the 12 weeks, we hope to retour the 12 places we stopped the first time through. So we're on tour, hopefully, for 6 months. Because we don't want to leave any orphans. We don't want to leave anybody. Well, we all got very excited when we came through, and then we never saw him again. I don't want that. You can jump online anytime. All of my sessions are streamed live via Zoom, and you're welcome to come in, even if it's just a look-see. I kind of like to go see how he does all that. You can get your information to Miss Robin. All she needs is an email, and she can get you the link to come in. And our next class will be Sunday night, because Sunday night is Monday morning in New Zealand, Australia, and Japan. So currency is already starting to move. I do a Sunday night presentation. I do my regular presentations Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. in New York and 8:30 in Chicago. We take a 30-minute break. We go an hour, take a 30-minute break, do another hour. So if it is something that you want to come in and take a peek, are you going to understand most of what I say the first time you come in? No. You might enjoy the stories. Do I tell stories? Lots and lots of stories. Because I want people to understand this is just simply money. This is how money works. In a global market, we understand this is how money works. Now, if you remember, we were watching this, and we went from the 333 to the 476 millions in the time I was giving this presentation. So this is constantly racking up additional debt that they say is yours. They say it's your debt. Every piece of, you carry money?
Yep.
You still carry money?
Still got some.
All right, I want to show one example and then I will wrap it up. I mean, give me the largest denomination you have.
Want me to go in my bag?
Dollar bill, what do you got?
I got 20 right here.
20 is good. So this is a financial ledger. Most people don't quite understand that, but we were given the right to contract unlimited. Constitution guarantees that right. What is that? That's when two people have the meeting of a mind. Okay. So if one side doesn't reveal all the details, it could be breach of contract. I was going to sell you my Mustang for $5,000. You get there, well, it's pieces of a Mustang, but it's still $5,000. If we didn't have a meeting of the mind, we might have to negotiate on the exchange of value. Okay. There's two seals on the front of this. Every piece of paper that we call cash has two seals. One's the black seal, is over here on, if you're looking at the face of the bill, the left side, that's the Federal Reserve. It's listed with a letter A through L. Same as your social security number. Simply a bond piece of paper, that's all it is. Same as your birth certificate. It's on a piece of bond paper. So I've been trading your money for years, and we're going to show you how to go after some of their money. Okay. So every bit of money that is in existence was borrowed into existence. Whether you went and got a home loan, a car loan, a credit card, and the bank doesn't care whether you pay it back or not because they fractionalized it. If you went in and got 500,000, they can now 500,000 times 10, some cases times 20. They can lend out 5 million to 10 million of your money into circulation. So the green stamp over here on the other side, that's the US Treasury. And then there's a signature from the Federal Reserve side, a signature from the US Treasury side. That makes this, quote, legal tender. It doesn't say gold certificate on it anymore. Doesn't say silver certificate on it anymore. It's not redeemable for that Oz, that ounce of precious metal, right? But on the front of here, there are two different entities. The two entities on the front is it says this is a Federal Reserve note. The last person that was going to put a United States note out signed an executive order, JFK, 6 weeks before he was assassinated. He understood the difference between a Federal Reserve note and a United States note. He was trying to give things back to the people. You remember that very important speech he gave about holding the media to task and all the secret societies and things that were going on in the shadows? He warned us about that. And there were some very powerful people that didn't want that warning going out. Okay. So this is Federal Reserve note, and it says United States of America. Both of those are in all capital letters. If you had to choose between three entities, that's two. And then on the back of all of our currency, and they keep trying to take it off there, it says, in God we trust. If you had to pick one of those three, Federal Reserve, United States of America, or God, where are you going to put your trust? No second guessing there, right? And why didn't they then go ahead and tell us when they put God in all capital letters that they were trying to incorporate what we see as the religious entities of today's world? Those are all corporations. So that's what I do is I simply start opening people's mind up, because it's mindset and money. Get the mind right. Money is the byproduct. We have to start with you. So we're doing a youth trader program. And I'd love to see it go into churches literally everywhere. They already have, in most cases, internet. They already have the lights. They're already paying for the audio and the video. They're already paying for all those. Pick some mid-week service time and let's jump on and let's get some youth groups going. I don't care if I have to buy pizza for the whole world. My mentor said years ago, quit trying to carpet the world and buy yourself a pair of shoes. Because he saw how quickly I was giving money away. He said, take care of yourself a little bit. Obviously, health in today's world, take care of your health a little bit. Quit pushing so hard, which is good advice to everyone. Quit pushing yourself so hard. I woke up the other night and it occurred to me, I'm not 25 years old anymore. Okay. I don't bounce back like I once did. That drive from San Diego to Houston, 22 hours straight. Right. And I thought, man, we're going to get all settled in. I'm going to get caught back up on some rest. I flew Robin down. We're going to have a planning session. And Naja said, hey, let's go to Albany. 12 hours after a 5-hour nap. So here we are. If I hadn't mixed up enough punch to have 2-3 cups of that Micro Daily, I'd be curled up in the fetal position back in the back corner, probably. That stuff works wonders, doesn't it? So now I'm popping gummies like they're like Chiclets, you know. Give me some more gummies. And so thank you for paying attention. Thank you for recording, taking notes. Hopefully somewhere along the line, we can help you. Get with either one of the admins and they'll be able to help you. I don't give out my contact information, but to get a hold of me, go through one of these two.
Yes.
Did everyone enjoy the punch?
Yeah.
Good, because it was Micro Daily.
Yeah.
The whole container. So all of you had 2 or 3 cups.
you're doing great for your health. So we just wanted to make sure people get to taste what Micro Daily is. And a lot of people just think it's just juice, but it is Micro Daily, is a micronutrient. It does work at the cellular level to help restore your cells. And then once it's restoring that, you'll have healthy cells, you'll have organs. If you have a healthy organs, you have a healthy system. Okay. So we, want to give a shout out to David because he also gave us that for free so that we can keep doing what we do and allow people to taste it. How many times have you bought something health-wise and it was nasty? So if it's nasty, you ain't gonna take it. You ain't. So I just appreciate that. And I just wanted to share that because when we told people before, they was like, "Are you sure?" Yes, I'm sure. Then we had one lady trying to steal it. So then we was like, "All right." We have to try to make sure we have product on hand. So if you need anything, there's product there. You can get with Jonathan and he'll help you out with all the products if you need anything.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for coming. And so, how many